What's up, survivors? The time has come. This is Rio de Janeiro, where anything can happen. And this is your chance to show who's in charge. The whole world is watching. Every move, every decision is your shot at making history. You can't slip up.
Booyah!
Rio is more than just the backdrop. Here, you've got to take risks. There's no room for mistakes. Every second counts. Every move could be your last. You are here to shine. The challenge is to become a legend and take the spotlight.
E aí, vai encarar?
Todos querem essa revanche aí.
เตรียมตัวมาอย่างดีครับเพราะว่าทีมจากบราซิลก็แข็งแกร่งครับ
After finishing as last year's runner-up, Buriram United Esports is ready for the spotlight.
É muito bom estar aqui no Brasil porque tem toda a sua família aqui torcendo. É uma sensação muito boa e com certeza estamos aí vindo para defender o título, né? E ser bicampeões mundiais de Free Fire.
แข่งขันรอบนี้ผมเตรียมพร้อมมาอย่างดีครับแล้วพวกผมจะมาแก้แค้นให้กับประเทศไทยครับผมจะมาเอาแชมป์ครับ
O fato da gente já ter ganho um Mundial uma vez, com certeza traz muitos olhares pra cima de nós. Mas nós não temos medo, pode vir que é bala, com nós não tem erro.
Bute acertou mais uma vez pra cima deles, meus amigos!
การเล่นของทีมผมก็เป็นแบบที่ทำยังไงก็ได้ครับให้ได้บูย่ามาแล้วก็พวกผมจะคว้าแชมป์มาให้ได้ครับ
Get ready, Rio. The battle is just beginning.
What's up, survivors? The time has come. This is Rio de Janeiro, where anything can happen. And this is your chance to show who's in charge.
Dominating.
The whole world is watching. Every move, every decision is your shot at making history. You can't slip up.
Booyah!
Rio is more than just the backdrop. Here, you've got to take risks. There's no room for mistakes. Every second counts. Every move could be your last. You are here to shine. The challenge is to become a legend and take the spotlight.
Killing spree.
E aí? Vai encarar?
Todos querem essa revanche aí.
เตรียมตัวมาอย่างดีครับ เพราะว่าทีมจากบราซิลก็แข็งแกร่งครับ
After finishing as last year's runner-up, Buriram United Esports is ready for the spotlight.
É muito bom estar aqui no Brasil, porque tem toda a sua família aqui torcendo. É uma sensação muito boa e com certeza estamos aí vindo para defender o título, né? E ser bicampeões mundiais de Free Fire.
แข่งขันรอบนี้ผมเตรียมพร้อมมาอย่างดีครับเพราะว่าผมจะมาแก้แค้นให้กับประเทศไทยครับ ผมจะมาเอาแชมป์ครับ
O fato da gente já ter ganho um Mundial uma vez, com certeza traz muitos olhares pra cima de nós. Mas nós não temos medo, pode vir que é bala, com nós não tem erro.
Bute acertou mais uma vez pra cima deles, meus amigos!
การเล่นของทีมผมก็เป็นแบบที่ทำยังไงก็ได้ครับให้ได้บูย่ามา แล้วก็พวกผมจะคว้าแชมป์มาให้ได้ครับ
Dominating.
Get ready, Rio. The battle is just beginning.
What's up, survivors? The time has come. This is Rio de Janeiro, where anything can happen. And this is your chance to show who's in charge.
Dominating.
The whole world is watching. Every move, every decision is your shot at making history. You can't slip up.
Booyah!
Rio is more than just the backdrop. Here, you've got to take risks. There's no room for mistakes. Every second counts. Every move could be your last. You are here to shine. The challenge is to become a legend and take the spotlight.
Dominating. Killing spree.
E aí? Vai encarar?
Todos querem essa revanche aí.
เตรียมตัวมาอย่างดีครับ เพราะว่าทีมจากบราซิลก็แข็งแกร่งครับ
After finishing as last year's runner-up, Buriram United Esports is ready for the spotlight.
É muito bom estar aqui no Brasil, porque tem toda a sua família aqui torcendo. É uma sensação muito boa e com certeza estamos aí vindo para defender o título, né? E ser bicampeões mundiais de Free Fire.
แข่งขันรอบนี้ผมเตรียมพร้อมมาอย่างดีครับแล้วพวกผมจะมาแก้แค้นให้กับประเทศไทยครับ ผมจะมาเอาแชมป์ครับ
O fato da gente já ter ganho um Mundial uma vez, com certeza traz muitos olhares pra cima de nós. Mas nós não temos medo, pode vir que é bala, com nós não tem erro.
Bute acertou mais uma vez pra cima deles, meus amigos!
การเล่นของทีมผมก็เป็นแบบที่ทำยังไงก็ได้ครับให้ได้บูย่ามา แล้วก็พวกผมจะคว้าแชมป์มาให้ได้ครับ
Dominating.
Get ready, Rio. The battle is just beginning.
What's up, survivors? The time has come. This is Rio de Janeiro, where anything can happen. And this is your chance to show who's in charge.
Dominating.
The whole world is watching. Every move, every decision is your shot at making history. You can't slip up.
Booyah!
Rio is more than just the backdrop. Here, you've got to take risks. There's no room for mistakes. Every second counts. Every move could be your last. You are here to shine. The challenge is to become a legend and take the spotlight.
Killing spree.
E aí? Vai encarar?
Everyone's online all the time. Shopping, social media, gaming. But have you thought about the threats lurking behind it? Viruses, hackers, scams. Without protection, your smartphone could be at risk. That's where Kaspersky Antivirus comes in. It blocks threats, keeps your online shopping secure, and still preserves your phone's performance. Want to browse worry-free? It's simple. Just go with Kaspersky. Safe, easy, and essential. Plus, Kaspersky has a limited-time exclusive skin in Free Fire Max. Buy Kaspersky, grab an awesome skin, and secure that booyah in style. Everyone's online all the time. Shopping,
This is Rio de Janeiro, where anything can happen. And this is your chance to show who's in charge.
Dominating.
The whole world is watching. Every move, every decision is your shot at making history. You can't slip up.
Booyah!
Rio is more than just the backdrop. Here, you've got to take risks. You are here to shine. The challenge is to become a legend and take the spotlight.
Booyah!
E aí? Vai encarar?
E aí, pessoal! Sejam todos muito bem-vindos! Eu me chamo Camilota XP e tá começando Free Fire World Series. Mais um dia, mais um encontro com você, telespectador, que tá sintonizado com a gente em todos os lugares possíveis.
Group A and B, and yes, Thailand was dominated. But today, I wonder will the result change or not? And I'm looking forward to it. Everyone wants to take the spotlight, right? Booyah!
Eita, será? Será? Porque assim, Grupo C é estreante. Vamos ficar de olho principalmente nos nossos brasileirinhos, tá? Temos Yuan e Pen Game chegando com tudo, mas também temos dois times que a gente tem que ficar com os olhos bem abertos. Temos Team Falcon e Attack All Around. São dois times fortíssimos que têm muita história para ser contada e hoje estreiam por aqui, Yonsu.
Today we will start with Group B and C, and yes, Group B is still normal as yesterday, but today we will have one team from Brazil, it's E1 Esport, right? And two teams from Thailand, we have to keep an eye on them, AAA and Team Falcons. That is really intense because you guys know Team Falcons, the champion of AWC, right? But I have doubt that other team will place them. Maybe WAG from Vietnam, right?
E bora recapitular, gente? Vamos recapitular tudo o que aconteceu no dia de ontem, grupos A e B por aqui.
And we'll take a look, our recap from yesterday, right? Now, let's go.
Bora, Marcelo. Bora, 31. Confiança, hein, cara.
ก็รู้สึกดีใจครับ นี่เปิดสนามครั้งแรกครับผม
แล้วก็หวังว่าอีกวันต่อไปจะทำได้เหมือนแบบวันนี้ครับ
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show, and this is Free Fire World Series 2024 Global Finals, day number 2. And yesterday we have just seen the fire that has been brought in by Group A and B, and this time Group C will be taking the spotlight. But right now, the spotlight is on us. I am Neptune the Gentleman Garcia, together with the one and only, the Mustachio AJ.
It's an exciting day, Neptune. Like you said, Group C hops on into the battle. Group A, they'll now kick it back. They'll have a few drinks. They'll just be watching all of this action, plotting exactly how they're going to be shutting down the plays of Group B and Group C eventually when they do come across them tomorrow. Now, we saw quite a lot done here already by Group A. Currently, the overall leaderboard is topped by 4 teams from Group
It on right now for today. They will be resting. Group A will be resting, and then Group B, as we are about to see, I mean, how are they going to put up so much of all those gameplays together after yesterday so that they can take a good night's rest, similar to what we've seen from the 4 teams yesterday. Twisted Mind, Brilliant United, Hawaii Sports, and RRQ, who did phenomenal in day number 1.
And that's exactly why Southeast Asia has got so many slots available here on the global stage, right? Because the quality is just that good. But of course, just because you have so many teams coming through from a certain region does not mean they will necessarily walk away with the trophy. I mean, the current reigning defending champions, it is Brazil. Unfortunately, we don't have Magic Squad. We've got Fluxo in their place. 3 players out of Magic Squad are playing on this team. They are in Group B. They will be in participation here today as well. Yesterday, Fluxo couldn't really get the job done. Unfortunately, we were expecting a couple of booyahs from them. They kept finding the final circle, but just not able to finish the job. Perhaps today will be their chance.
Yeah, but the thing is, how are they going to push on either of which map? Bermuda was a slow place, not only for Fluxo, but other Brazil teams as well. So that's how they play compared to what we have in Southeast Asia. All throughout, always aggression, and then they die it down. Find the time as well as the tactics that they can play through towards the end, and that's how they got the points yesterday. So let's see how the difference of tactics as well as different meta from different regions will play out this time, as well as for tomorrow, when we will have a clear picture of how all teams work.
Absolutely. And of course, I'm looking forward to seeing exactly how Brazil comes into this mix and their own way, right? Because today we've got E1 coming through, we've got Pain Gaming coming through as well. But of course, before we continue with the storyline, the tournament format for all of you guys, as usual, is going to be the knockout phase over 2 weeks, where we will look for the top 12 teams for Point Rush. That is a 2-day affair before we head on into the grand finals, and these are the dates.
Yeah, we have 2 weeks of the knockout stage, 8, 9, and 10, and we are now on the second day. The same goes for next week, and then we have 2 days of Point Rush as well as the grand finals. So the first 2 weeks will be happening in Rio Central, and we are going to have them move to different places where everything will be on the spotlight, but point system is still the same overall. Booyah will be taking 12th place. It goes down to the second up until the 10th and 11th place, as well as 12 will get 0. So that is where the importance of elimination will go.
Absolutely. Every single elimination earns you 1 point. If you unfortunately end up on a tiebreaker situation, here are the rules. We'll first look at the number of booyahs to see exactly who takes the top spot, followed by the total eliminations. And if even that fails, we'll be looking at the survival ranks of the final round play.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it has been played out. It has been thought over that no one will be tied towards the end. And we'll have to find out. I mean, it's not easy to tie it up, especially with this much of a prize pool at stake. That's $300,000 for the champion of this entire competition. Not only that, we also have a few more for the individual awards as well as the team of the day. It gives a lot more motivation for the team to really bring it on. Thus, some of the teams are showing up quite extravagant in their performance from yesterday.
A total of $1 million to play for, man. But of course, once again, it is going to be a showdown between groups C as well as B. We saw a lot of Group B yesterday. CLG, EVOS Divine, Corinthians, Fluxo, Bigatron Delta as well as WAS. But today, obviously, we are looking at teams like Six, Karma as well as Pain and E1 to hop on into the fray to really prove what the West has got to take on the battle that East has been bringing so aggressively thus far, Neptune.
I'm still looking forward to Team Falcons joining the fray because Bigatron Delta is still in the mix. So we know how it is when these two are in the same group. Then that probably is the reason why they didn't get the previous or the qualifier stage for this competition in the fall season of Southeast Asia. But there's a lot of factors that can change overall that might have been a fluke or probably something that they can use to increase their rate of winning, especially for the other teams as well, who were just watching in the background and doing so much more from their own region.
I mean, Falcons, they've already won the Esports World Cup, but can they prove it on the original, the OG stage in itself, the Free Fire World Series Global Finals, baby. If they can bag it here, they will be recognized as the greatest team in the history of Free Fire for sure in the current day and age. But of course, it's easier said than done. The competition is hot. Everybody wants a piece of the pie, especially a team like Twisted Minds. Now, we have not seen the best out of Twisted Minds for such a long time, Neptune. And yesterday, they came out of the gates, bursting through. I mean, initially not securing those booyahs, but finally, once they started doing so, breaking the barrier of 120 points, ending the day with a total of 121.
And it's giving me goosebumps right now because I'm reminiscing on how Twisted Mind was before they were Twisted Mind. It's just aggression overall. Elimination is their target, not really thinking about a placement point, and that's what they've shown. That is what they are up in here, and it's a reason as well why they are up on the stage because of that alone. They try to change it up, but the other competition that they're part of, they try to be tactical. They try to go for placement point. They were pushed down really hard by the other teams from the same region. So it's just about time that Twisted Mind can bring back the domination of being a predator in this game.
I mean, obviously, we're going to have a delight watching tomorrow's matches where groups A and C will meet. So that's exactly where you get to see all the Thai teams in action. And obviously, we get to see a little bit of what Twisted Minds and Buriram have to offer once again. For the time being, of course, they are resting once again. They are on the benches. You know, they are with the crowd. They're just enjoying the scenery here over at Rio, Brazil. The rest of the teams in groups B and C, this is exactly what the conversation is going to be about. It's going to be about Brazil. It's going to be a little bit about Mexico.
Where adaptation as well as the adjustment will come into play. They might be different when it comes to their own region of LATAM, but when it comes to competition just like this on a global scale, that is where they can put up so much. It's a good thing that they have 1 day's rest as well because they can do some homework, make those adjustments if needed on the gameplay that they have, and it's just up to them to put in that much in this battle.
And of course, we've got Peter, Butchzen, as well as Aim God here. The stars that we have to look out for. FFWSC Spring, the most important one where we saw quite a lot from Team Falcons, Neptune.
Yeah, I mean, a lot from Team Falcons. There's a lot that they have done, but again, I'm still worried about them if they haven't changed the way that they approach the fight against Bigatron Delta. They have been red, and I know that Peter once said that they might be studying us, but we're studying them as well, but it doesn't show because they were left out. They were left out not taking the championship from the previous season, which might be good because it's about time that they put so much of an effort to being good every game. Back then, for Team Falcons, there's a lot of adjustment that they're doing, unconventional adjustment that they're doing just to troll the game of the knockout stage because it's quite a long run. But this time there's no more trolling, there's no more waiting. All they have to do is put their best foot forward every day, every match.
Well, we are just I don't know whether this is highlights or we're throwing shade at Abex at this point of time because this man is pretty low down on the overall leaderboard when it comes to stats. 14 in terms of elimination, a 1.5 on the elims. Damage has not breached 1,000 just yet, but of course you see the big smiles on his face because if anybody knows this game well, it is EVOS Divine. They've got the experience behind them and they know that all they need to do for the front end of this competition is just aim for the top 12 spots, and it's so much more easier now because you've only got 17 teams in play.
Yeah, 17 teams indeed. We'll see how well they are going to play this out. But one reason why they're smiling as well is because probably of the booyah that they grabbed yesterday. It's unexpected that RRQ Kazu can pull off a Horizon Line booyah, especially with Maal already down. That was unsuspected. But you already also mentioned about how they utilize the Olivia, wherein they are really focusing on healing faster. But the thing is, it's very difficult to say that situation will happen often. We've seen how they played yesterday. For the first two games, they are not putting up so much of point. Only towards the end, they managed to get into the top 4. So hopefully they can play different this time and just use whatever they have, regardless of what gameplay it is. The loadout is really important. But let's bring it over to the stage right now, and we're going to start the game for match number 1 of day number 2 for the Free Fire
And
World
we're
Series.
also ready to take off as well. Let's go!
Porque os jogadores já estão posicionados, então aguenta coração. Pega sua pipoca, porque a decolagem foi Auto-Rises!
Boys and girls, it is time for Bermuda match number 1 of day 2, where 4 Brazilian teams will be playing at the very same time. All of these teams from the East, they better watch out. They better not cry, because you know for a fact we'll be telling you why. I think it's finally time for the West to start playing some serious games of Free Fire out there.
Yeah, let's see how serious they are right now, because it's really getting heated and there's no chance to go down without a fight. As we can see the flag right now, and everyone's spread out. Not so much of a pot crop happening hard.
Extending bobs. Now he's got the powerful alongside the MP40. He's taking these spot shots. He's already wasted a couple of glue walls already. He's got no extra defenses. One Riptide Rhythm can take this guy out of the equation, but obviously the rest of his players will be able to buy him right back. He's just trying to get some extra free points out there. And I like this. An aggressive Fluxo early game just tells us that this time they mean business. And here comes the backup as well. So we're going to have a all-out team fight.
Yeah, let's see on how well they are going to bring down WAG at this point. And yep, I mean, I would agree. Aggression coming from Fluxo at this point, this early part of the day, would be good for them, because they tried already how to be passive, but it didn't work out for them. But as you can see, we have Bobs being gunned down, managed to get away and hide out on those containers. And Gil right here for the backup. MT7 brings Bobs back, and they have 1 point to play with.
Smart play coming through from Fluxo, but you super low. Allen has got the Mac 10 in hand. And I lost my feet. Oh, okay, yeah, back in action.
Well, that's just how heated it is. I mean, the broadcast cannot take how heated the fight is. Thus, they are showing up with so much of aggression. But Cyrus right now will need to go in for a good play to bring back X-Boar, and Krillin has been taken down as well. So it's only left to 2 players from WAG, and Fluxo is still that aggressive. They know that they can put up so much of a play, and they're also inside of the zone, but the knockout on Cyrus might be crucial, especially Allen will try to bring him back.
And this is the Fluxo we know. Butch with the left-hand side flank. And only a single player left here from the side of WAG for them to hunt down. Allen has backed away quite far already. But here's E1 as well, interfering in this fight, trying to knock down the final player on the side of WAG. All that matters now is the pocket market and whether or not Allen has got some extra cash to spend on to bring back one of his buddies.
Oh, not so much of weaponry as well. Only a Thompson in hand, and there goes the takedown. Vic-10 XM8 bringing down Aguiyu at this point. Pickup needs to be done, but it's a little bit too far from the rest of the teams, and Fluxo backs away.
Oh, smart play coming on through, and it looks like WAG has got a little bit of an extra chance here as E1 Esports spots out Team Fluxo, and they go in for the hunt. Now, Fluxo has spent already quite a bit of resources hunting down the players on the side of WAG, and as you can see, Butchzin is out of there. He's like, nope, we don't want any part of this. A full-on team is coming straight to us with this gunfight, and we do not want to play just yet. They thought they were going in here for the hunt onto one player, but they found 4 for the price of 1.
And let's see if they can find more. And they just went into the edge of the next safe zone as it closes in. Factory is now their territory, and everyone else has pulled away. So let's see on what rotation they will be taking at this point, knowing that no one is behind them, and they have a good chance to gatekeep anyone who can come in, as well as a Fluxo already left the building and went into Pochinok. But speaking of other teams that need to go in, we still have 6 Karma who's far away, and Bigatron Delta might cut them to their approach.
So WAG, the first team to get eliminated. Unfortunate for them, they caught Fluxo on the wrong day. Fluxo yesterday had a decent run, but nothing great whatsoever. They obviously want to prove themselves, and today being an all-out Brazilian day where every single team from Brazil is playing, they for sure want to flex what they can do out there on the battlefield. At the end of the day, Fluxo is that #1 seed from Brazil that everybody has got their bet on.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good chance that Fluxo will be able to increase the chance of grabbing the #1 by the end of the day, unless they will be cut off by the other teams who's more aggressive in this battle. But E1 Sports just putting so much of a time to wait for Fluxo to make a mistake, but Fluxo is not really hoping to get those to put it into play. Even if the chase is happening between E1 Sports as well as Fluxo, they are just putting their best foot forward and hiding out in Pochinok. There's a lot of compounds to play with, and they might be able to put in a great standoff in here against E1 Sports.
E1 Sports on the way. They finally caught up already, but the question is, has Fluxo found the perfect defensive spot here at Pochinok? They slow the pace down a tad bit. They see a monster truck falling from afar, so they know they're going to have a little bit of heavy competition from the top of that hill. And they continue their rotation around. E1 Sports, on the other hand, have slowly started to peel away. I guess they saw that monster truck as well. So this is a potential third-party exposure that they do not want to come across. R1 will be used by Fluxo as they continue rotating around. This will put them in the open fields straight for shooting here. E1 Sports, if there's a good time to attack, now is their time.
Now is the time, but I mean, Fluxo is doing their best to not to be seen out in the open. But as we go in onto the bridge gameplay, it's WASK going against Evo's Divine. So both sides of the bridge has been taken and have a good chance that they can hide out until the next phase of the circle. Still 11 teams remaining in this fight, and most of them are just buying time, waiting for the perfect opportunity for any approach. And WASK is right dead smack in the middle of the next play zone.
WASP just needs to look for all of these circles, man. I mean, they can really, you know, they were tortured yesterday. They could barely find any bit of those gunfights. I mean, 7 eliminations from 6 games. You're definitely struggling in this global finals. 6K on the approach. They've got the high ground, and the best player from the team, Bad, takes the highest of high grounds. And Bigatron Delta, with their backs showing up against 6K, they might just have to soak up some of those bullets, but they should be able to counter fire here. Circle is going to be pressuring 6K, but of course this is circle number 2. It's not so much of pressure just yet, and it'll be the launch pad for the save here. But of course, 6 Karma, they know exactly what they want. They want those 4 points before they continue into the next circle.
But as you can see right now, we have the binoculars being used on one side of the map. So they're just trying to find their way in onto the next phase of circle. Not really wanting to meet up with Bigatron Delta, but yeah, they really want they really need to grab points early in this game, because if it closes to the 3rd, going to 4th of the phase without any points, it might be difficult for them, especially if how it is with the other teams already taking their place into this map. But Fluxo still going in Kotatua. This is their initial draw from yesterday, but it is them really trying to find a good place to spot out anyone who's coming in from outside the blue.
And this is technically where they were camping for so long before getting into the final battle sequence. And, you know, I love that plan, right? Stay out of the initial few fights, save up all of your utilities to use in that final battle, which matters the most. And that's how they kind of played most of their games. It's just that it wasn't enough. The aggression was a little bit watered down for the side of Fluxo. I wasn't expecting that sort of a play from them. But obviously, it's the smart play. You really want to study your opponent's fist before you try anything crazy. So perhaps today is where that comfortability has been setting in little by little over the past 6 matches that they played yesterday for them to really show up today. But of course, speaking of showing up, EVOS Divine, they showed up in that final match yesterday.
Yeah. I mean, EVOS Divine is really a team that needs a few more to warm up their game and show up into the fight. But speaking of showing up, here comes Bigatron Delta showing up against a team Fluxo. And this is something that Fluxo has been waiting for, a team to step into their area. But let's see, how can they defend themselves? Because they're also playing outside of that blue. And there's no way in onto the defense or make that the offense of Bigatron Delta.
A smart FGL pop here coming through for Butchizin, so he manages to tag the player up from the back of that wall. And what a elimination onto Bigatron Delta, helped out by Attack All Around, who were on the other side of the squad as well. Fluxo kind of lucked out there. Those points they claim, but a very aggressive game starting to pay off for the Brazilian squad.
Yeah, I mean, aggression really is paying off for them. Already 9 on the elimination points. From Kotatua, they need to cross over to the other side. And we saw a glimpse of Attack All Around. So they are just biding their time, probably waiting for a launchpad to be used and get to the other part of that edge. But we also have E1 Sports, who has been seen on the horizon. But Team Falcons will be introduced, and Corinthians, I like the spread that Corinthians is showing right now, but it's very, very crucial that they don't pop out that head, because we've seen how well Team Falcons sniped it out, and one instance might be trouble for Corinthians at this point.
Nike Boy with the glue wall melt is tossed out first. It's trying to slow down the pace of Falcons, but nothing is slowing them down. They are on for a great push, flanking around from the left-hand side at the same time. Nike Boy will be the first one to get to the high ground, to turn around, and what a connection with that shot. Car 98 straight up finding its target, but no knockdowns just yet. That, of course, will slow Peter down just a notch, but it's not going to stop Falcons from approaching. The circle is forcing them to have this confrontation with Corinthians.
Yeah, I mean, let's see and how well they can play this ridge right here. There goes a takedown of the blue walls that pushes Corinthians off onto the other side, and Team Falcons might be the one causing trouble. Not only that, we are seeing a glimpse of pain into one side, and Corinthians is out in the open to be scoped out. So let's see if they can end this against Team Falcons and go over to the other side to deal more of the points, but nothing is happening just yet. More of a jump gameplay and ring around the rosy.
Omala, the best player from the side of Corinthians, straight up in front of all the Falcons players. Nando X trying with the left-hand side flank, the right-hand side flank, still unable to find a player. FGL shot will find the connection onto the glue wall, and it forces the Falcon players to all scramble. Wasp off screen has been eliminated thanks to Attack All Around. Ow! But Omala turned on out of nowhere, and this is Falcons on fire with his gameplay, but a sliver of health left on him. It is going to be the ice grenade tagging him up. Nike Boy can't find the finisher just yet.
On fire on a 1v2 situation at this point, trying to heal up, and let's see how well he can go and play against Nando X, and Nando goes down. Now Nike Boy will try to go and swoosh in. On fire will go down, and Team Falcons eliminated on 9.
What a play by Corinthians, but they themselves have been taken out of the equation. What a crazy battle sequence. Both Falcons and Corinthians taking a little bit too long to finish the job. And unfortunately, at the end, they both falter. 7 more teams left in here as we approach circle number 5. Attack all around, 6 eliminations. They've been preying on the rest for the time being. And now Pain Gaming as well, trying to bring the hurt onto CLG, who very smartly used the bridge as defense.
Yeah, Pain Gaming on high ground. I mean, they are the ones who are waiting for the conclusion of that Falcons as well as a Corinthians gameplay, but they're left with nothing to take. And now they will need to go in onto the push to grab a few more points onto this side. But we're seeing E1 Sports gameplay against 6 Karma right now, and approach on this flank is what led them to go in for a few more points in this game.
I'm still waiting to see the highlight of this replay, and that was a beautiful spray down with the Drogon. And Mitten was on fire, beautiful with that double on top of everything else. The guy got backstabbed and still could hold his ground. Fantastic stuff. EVOS Divine falling one after the other, and the team gets eliminated, all thanks to CLG and the final bullet delivered.
Oh, a lot of teams are being pushed out on the 4th to 5th zone, and that's the reason why they are going down that easily. Compared to what we've seen yesterday on Bermuda, a lot of teams are still alive and kicking because of how passive they are towards the end. But at this point, they need to move. Pain will be felt at this game on the 5th to 6th face of the circle, but as we can see, we have attack all around. No chance to attack all around because Fluxo is below them.
These boys, they took a little bit too long to make that rotation. They love the pain delivered by the blue zone for some weird reason. So let's see if they'll continue to do crazy stuff out there. 6 Karma with 1 final player left in here, trying to look for those placement points. Attack all around, sharing the bridge with Pain Gaming, and they try to deliver the pain against each other straight up with those grenades first. Riptide Rhythm going to be breaking down a couple of those defenses. Attack all around, defensive maneuver, they back away. The old Riptide Rhythm breaking down a couple of those glue walls from the side of Pain Gaming, but thus far, no direct confrontation just yet. And as I say that, Limit X7 exposed. It's Riptide Rhythm once again bringing through the damage and the opener for Pain Gaming.
Yeah, and whoever takes this high ground might have a potential of grabbing the Booyah. Thus, the tackle round will be jumping off, and let's see if they have a better chance. But no, they have been taken out of the game. Only 4 remains, and Pain can bring so much pain on those just running and straggling at the bottom of this breach. We have E1 Sports trying to go in onto the edge as well, but there's no way in onto the other side to grab elimination.
It's all about Latin America and Brazil, baby, in the final circle. We talked about how this was going to be a Brazilian day, and they are proving that to be a fact. E1 danger zone, but my God, you cannot miss the Riptide Rhythm in that way, CLG. That's the first time I'm actually seeing a Riptide Rhythm go wide, even though those glue walls were right in front of them. The second one does find the connection, but extra glue walls erected. Bad spot for them to be bringing that up. Vinton with a sliver of health tries to get away. It went down on the ground. Vinton finds the connection, but he gets dropped as well. Nothing they can do to back away. And CLG, the biggest winner of that engagement.
Yeah, CLG is the biggest winner, but Pain is also putting so much of work on to this fight. Now, CLG with only 3 players and 3 points to their side, it's very difficult for them to cross over because they will be out in the open. The only way that they can deal with this is to deal with Pain, and Pain is just sitting pretty and trying to target them from above. And even Fluxo has nowhere of going in onto the side. So this is stalemate right now. The blue zone will dictate where and who will be getting this Booyah, I believe.
So this actually brings me to the conversation we were having before this match started, where you talked about how we won't really see a lot of those medkit gameplay. Neptune, experience clearly tells us this current meta has been bringing up these scenarios, these situations way too many times. So if you're a pro team, you sure as hell want that Horizon line. You sure as hell want all of those medkits. Now, Pain jumping on down, but it is going to be all of that animation from the fall that puts them at a disadvantage, and this will bring a clear end to it. But Fluxo still survives as they slay all of these players.
Oh, Fluxo for the Booyah! Only one remains, but not for long, and they grab. But I don't think they're just too happy with that play because they didn't grab so much in the final moment, only against Pain that they can get elimination. But CLG has been left out on the other side of that wall, unable to break through. Thus, they didn't get a lot that they might have been expecting to get for this match.
It's Fluxo finally getting the job done. What they could not do yesterday, they finally managed today. And it's not because they could not, it's because they did not want to. They were on research mode yesterday. Today it's all about the execution, baby. And they score straight A's for sure with this Booyah on Bermuda. They got close yesterday, but this is how you finish things with perfection, right? And they did not have to deal with all of those med kits. It was just all out gunfights, baby. And of course, Butch is in the final one left to earn them all of that victory and the
Finalmente,
proud
do
Booyah.
Brasil. Marcão, me acompanha nessa,
Let's
por
head
favor.
on to
Aqui,
the
ó,
interview.
Brasil,
Let's hear what they have to say.
porque deu Booyah do time brasileiro por aqui. A gente já puxou o Gil pra trocar uma ideia, ele que faz parte do Rush, né? E eu queria falar uma coisa pra Yusu aqui em português mesmo. Falei pra tu que tu ia entrevistar brasileiro agora. Tu ia entrevistar brasileiro hoje, viu? Beleza? Ok? Então bora lá, minha família. Trocar uma ideia aqui com o Gil. Vou começar em inglês, tá bom? E aí tudo vai ser traduzido aqui pra vocês. Okay, so do you think in your debut today you didn't go really good? So do you think the pressure of being the current and world champions made you be targeted by the other teams? Perguntei, tipo, no primeiro dia de vocês não foram muito bem, então você acha que por causa de vocês serem campeões mundiais, botou uma certa pressão em vocês e também fez os outros times virem atrás de vocês por causa disso?
Eu acho que não, porque Mundial é um jogo muito diferente. Lá no Brasil a gente tem um respeito, que os outros times não vêm pra cima, a gente tem mais moral, assim, acho que pode-se dizer. E aqui não, aqui é Mundial, todo time quer... A gente é um time forte, é um time que briga ali pelo topo. Então todo time que tiver a oportunidade de fazer alguma troia, jogar pra cima, tirar o máximo de pontuação possível, eles sempre vão tentar.
Okay, so his answer was, in Brazil, they got respected by all the other teams. Here's a different game. The other teams don't have the same respect for them. So here, everyone is equal and everyone wants the same thing. Okay, but here, yeah, it's a totally different game.
I understand. Yeah, last time Carol told me, I told you, we're going to interview Brazil this time. I accept this fate. So, Jiu, from yesterday, we were fighting with Group A, and it was a pretty intense group for you. So do you have any thoughts or any view for the C teams, especially Thailand teams?
Beleza. Ela perguntou aqui, ela falou que o grupo A foi bem difícil para vocês. Ela queria saber se você tem algum ponto de vista, algum pensamento em relação aos times do grupo A, principalmente dos times que vêm da Ásia, ali na questão tailandesa também.
Eu acho que não existe muito isso porque é mundial. Todo time que está aqui tem capacidade, todo time aqui é muito forte. Acho que a gente não tem um grupo que a gente em si olha mais. Ontem a gente jogou mal mesmo, nosso resultado não foi o resultado esperado pelo público e não por nós mesmos. A gente sabe que a gente errou, viemos com uma mentalidade diferente para consertar e hoje fazer um bom jogo.
Perfeito. He said all the teams here have the same capacity. He is not looking at any group, any kind of group, not group A, not group B, not group C, because here they all equals and they are looking for the same stuff here to get the trophy. But he got the blame on themselves because of their debut. They know they were really bad yesterday, and that's all their fault. So yeah, they will get better today.
Good
As we already see.
That's good mindset.
Mas é isso, minha família. Bora de melhores momentos, porque o primeiro Booyah brasileiro finalmente saiu. Pode comemorar. Yusu.
And thank you, Jiu, and congratulations on your first Booyah. It might be a kick-off for all the Brazil teams, right? But we were looking forward to the next game. And now let's head back to the caster and watch our analyze.
Boa, valeu, Gil.
So there you go, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. It is the kind of thing we expected from the start of the day. We expected a all-out Brazilian showdown. We got that in the final circle. We expected a Fluxo Booyah, and we got a good view of that too. It's a good day. It's a good start. And obviously, Fluxo is going to be very proud of what they got to do in that matchup. 26 points. That means 14 eliminations with the 12, of course, that comes from the Booyah.
Yeah, there's something that they have been expecting to do from yesterday, but they are judging from the interview that they are accepting that they didn't play that well yesterday. But again, it's a good thing that they managed to experience as well how to study the opponent, and this time they can play it through as they did. But it might be like as they did mention in the interview, not a lot of teams are expecting them in probably from yesterday's game, and compared to how it is today, a lot of respect is going in. Well, let's change the word. Respect is more of intimidation. They are intimidated of Fluxo this time around, thus they can take advantage of that and grab a lot of points.
Yeah, I was thinking that, it all came down to the gunfights, but we just could not see the player from the side of Pain. He was probably up on the bridge playing the troll. And it did come down to the medkits once again. We are going to see quite a number of that in the global finals, because there's just no way in hell we get another meta shift during the global finals, right? So this is going to be a scenario which is going to be repeated. But obviously, if we have one of those teams that figures out how to break through this final moment without going through those medkits, I think we're going to have a good time here.
Oh, definitely. I mean, we're going to have a good time, but we'll have to see how well of a time will be taken by the other teams. Again, there are a few that didn't get so much of points, especially for those being eliminated early. We are seeing like Bigatron that didn't. I think Bigatron Delta didn't get so much of points because of how, or was it WSK? ASK rather, and WAG as well. They have 1 point after the engagement, but they have been taken down a little bit too early in this game. So there's a lot of pressure going on, especially as their gameplay doesn't match the specific region or the specific meta that's being put out by Brazil and Latam.
Yeah, and of course, the MVP is the guy that does not have the World Championship title or medal. It's MT7. 6 eliminations, 4,200 damage. My goodness, he did a lot. With 3 assists as well. The best gun, the XM8 this time around in his hands. But obviously, all of this craziness would not be possible without Buchzin as well as Geo going out there as the rushes. You see the electrotherapy working so well for Fluxo all throughout the game.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of mostly 2 Olivias as well, and we've seen this from RRQ yesterday. They increase the chance of healing up. That is what they're taking advantage of, and probably the reason why they survived that final moment. I can see the similarities right now and how well it worked. It's there just in case they need it, and at that moment they really need it, and they grab the buoy for that.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, if there's one thing we know, the medkits are going to be important in the final sequence. If you've got Olivia, obviously she's going to be helping you get all of those medkits used a tad bit faster so that it can free up your hands to take a couple of shots if you need to. And Fluxo, they are no strangers to these meta shifts. They have been keeping up with the game for sure. What they were not keeping up with yesterday, though, were the eliminations. And what they have done today in this very first game shows us that there has been a shift in their own aggression. 14 eliminations strong. This is what we want to see out of them.
Yeah, I mean, a lot more can be shown, and it's just unfortunate that it didn't show that much yesterday, and some teams take advantage of that. So this is where they need to put it all out. If a back-to-back can be pulled out by Fluxo, then so be it. But as you can see, 2 of the key player spot has been taken by MT7. He's not empty at this point. He is all full with that elimination as well as with the damage, but we cannot take away CLG Dark for putting out the grenades. I'm not quite sure if this is just a grenades use or grenades that put out so much of damage, because we've seen a lot of teams pull out grenade elimination. Not only that, we also have the M79 or grenade launcher elimination being brought in, especially those coming in from Southeast Asia. So let's see if that meta is also applies this time, wherein there's more Brazil and Latin America regions playing.
I mean, yesterday it was all out Thailand that was dominating the elimination leaderboard. This time around, it's Brazil, baby. And of course, we've got 3 different teams highlighted from that region. And of course, Attack All Around making a special appearance here for the East. Cougar with the 3 eliminations, but it's MT7 once again with the 6 eliminations, Moto with the 5, and obviously Brazil is going to continuously show up because you've got Falcons, and Falcons could not float their own up against Corinthians. I don't know what's up with that. That should have been a fight they could have definitely handled. In fact, it looked like they were at a disadvantage at one point in time. They could not stop because the circle was chasing them down. But for it to be such a 50-50 gunfight, I'm quite shocked because I thought Falcons were so much more sharper with the gunfights.
I mean, if this is a play or a play style that Falcons are using to study their opponent, it's either not working or it's not worth it, because we only have 2 weeks off the knockout stage compared to how it is in the regional. There's plenty of weeks to play with, and you can make all those mistakes. But if this is something that they're planning out, hopefully they push this, like throw it out on the window, because they need to put so much point in every day. And imagine there's only 2 matches or 2 days up match in a week, and not so much if in case Flux or Falcon will not put in this much of a fight.
Yeah, you've got 4 game days technically just for the group stage, which you have to use the best of, right? 12 games in a week where you cannot falter too many times. You can make 1 or 2 mistakes, but you have to recover real quickly. Yesterday, even though Fluxo made a couple of mistakes, even though they did not secure a single booyah, they technically did pretty well for themselves. And that's why today it's going to be a huge possibility for them to obviously overtake that #1 spot out of Twisted Minds, who are not playing, right? I mean, even from the first game in itself, that should put them in the top 3, which is going to be a very comfortable spot for Fluxo. They're technically the best team from Group B.
Yeah, the best team from Group B, and there's a lot more that we can see from Fluxo at this point. We'll have to find out if anyone can cut them into any approach that they're taking, because again, at some point they might be read by the ones being the Giant Slayer, and as specific to Bigatron and Delta, they just need to find more time to study their opponent. But we're going to go in for a quick break. We show in our sponsors.
Everyone's online all the time. Shopping, social media, gaming. But have you thought about the threats lurking behind it? Viruses, hackers, scams. Without protection, your smartphone could be at risk. That's where Kaspersky Antivirus comes in. It blocks threats, keeps your online shopping secure, and still preserves your phone's performance. Want to browse worry-free? It's simple. Just go with Kaspersky. Safe, easy, and essential. Plus, Kaspersky has a limited-time exclusive skin in Free Fire Max. Buy Kaspersky, grab an awesome skin, and secure that booyah in style.
For Fluxo, the final battles. But of course, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is a booyah on game #1 for Fluxo once again. And it is not going to be the last one for the day, for sure.
Vambora, Peu! Vamos agora direto para Purgatório, Yonsu.
Yes, and our next map will be Purgatory. So finally, we can see a Brazil team. So got the booyah for the first game. For the second game, we will have to wait. Sit back down, get ready, and let's take off.
Porque os jogadores já estão posicionados, então aguenta coração. Pega o seu Trident, porque a decolagem foi autorizada.
Righty, and as we go into the flight, neither heaven or hell can save them at this point, as Purgatory will be our destination. Now, the question is, will Fluxo do it once again? Because judging from their gameplay or how they played yesterday, this is one of their weakest maps on one specific day, but this is against a different set of teams. And this time, they are looking to be more aggressive and more of getting ahead of the ones resting from Group A.
Why do you have to put it that way, bro? Like, it's one of the week.
It is.
I told you. Okay, today is day for recovery. Today is day when they're not studying anymore. It's all about the execution. And Falcons are looking for a little bit of revenge instantaneously. One more with the very dangerous approach as Bigatron Delta finds the connections up against E1 on the other side of the battlefield.
Oh, this is the earliest elimination that we're seeing at this point. Not only that, a lot of teams are fighting in too early as well from both sides. And Nike Boy will be taken down by Team Falcons. And that's a three-way battle, if I'm not mistaken. And oh, Mala was able to take down one more, but no elimination yet for a team. But we'll have to find out who is the winner of this engagement. We're seeing 3 players up for Corinthians, but no sight of Team Falcons in this game.
Omala has got that pocket market, so the revival onto Nike Boy should not be an impossible task here. And as I speak of that, he should be bringing him right back. And Nando X is the one to purchase him back. WAG gets Krillin back into play as well. So we are all back to 48 players. Nothing happened.
Nothing happened. And only a few scratches that happened in there, a few points that has been grabbed, and then it is just a reset. But Dark right now staying in the dark, while Alan will shed a little bit of light, half on his health and nowhere to go, not even a backup that can be seen in the horizon.
Great Rebel Rush. And Wask on the approach as well to tease CLG from the back, so WAG will have a little bit of breathing space here. And we can also see the highlight for Team Falcons. 2 eliminations in thus far. We, of course, want to catch up with the gameplay in a bit as well. We just want to see exactly what happens to WAG. Expo and Cyrus getting pressured from Pain Gaming here. Trying to bring the hurt onto them. As Gus pushes on Fort. Montovier from the right-hand side with the XM8. Trying to see if we can find the connection onto X-Ball, but it is Gus, the first one. And here comes the RGS-50 as well. A double pop on the grenade. And Noda follows up. What a crazy flank coming on through from Pain Gaming.
Yeah, I mean, Peter XL just making sure that they can grab that elimination, but one is still alive and unseen at this point. But let's see if they'll be able to head on through and grab that extra point. They use the binoculars to spot out the compound, and they might be using this time to buy out a few more of the utilities that they need in this game. Motovea, though, I mean, like living up to the name with a motor vehicle on him as he joins the group.
Living up to his thing. All right, I'll take that, Uncle. Wask still rotating around, trying to see if they can check out CLG. They've been checking out CLG for a little bit too long here. Not taking any shots whatsoever. I understand. Wask is, not the most aggressive team out there. I don't know if or not they are going to decide to change that anytime soon. I would love to see them change that. Speaking of change, Cyrus is bringing in a little bit of a change in terms of his lineup by reviving his team members. Back to a full squad, there you go. I have not seen Wask really go in for the attack. The last time they did get into an engagement yesterday, it just really didn't go their way at all. But I want to see, just like how Fluxo has brought in those adjustments, for Wask to oh my god! Oh, Mala! What? Nando X, everybody going down! E1 Sports, what was that?
It's a good thing and Nike Boy is still alive, managed to bring back one of the players from Corinthians. But E1 Sports, you know what E1 means in the Philippines? It means left behind. No one's being left behind here. They're just, they're just putting so much of fight and play right here. Evo Divine, Bigatron Delta. This is a civil war happening at this point in the global stage. And let's see who wins this out. But the tackle round also joins the mix as Evo's Divine, one of the players though, will try to get away.
Yeah, Bigatron trying their very best to look for Evo's Divine, but attack all around stands between them and their target. And this is going to be quite the tough fight. Here comes the hurt. Thai players. Poongon will be able to spray down Kyung, but of course the trade comes back through from Dix as he approaches from the back. Cougar though with the AC-80 from up top, trying to burst through. If only this was the M82B, he could definitely get a couple of knocks. No grenades to work around with, no Drogon to pump in those nade damage. So he will have to turn tails and get away from here. 200 coins in his pocket. The pocket market is going to be tad bit useless at this point of time. Man needs to go on a collection spree.
Yeah, I mean, Dix is trying to go in for a chase against Cougar and to take down with his shotgun, but he will be taken out by Koja as well. And that's what you get. I mean, being a little too cheeky on a 1v3, but they are still alive as a team. As we go in onto the other side, Team Falcons now facing 6 Karma, and let's see what Karma they will be grabbing at this point as they go against 2, but Nico is just hanging back on the other side with a Woodpecker. Let's see if they can bring one more down.
Yeah, they slow the pace down to pick Peter right back up. Pocho, great shot from the low ground. Saw the head instantly, took it off of the man's shoulders. And on the opposite side, Nico with the Woodpecker is going to be a little annoying as well. So Peter needs to sort that problem out instantly. Pocho has nowhere to run, so he will have to take this gunfight. And you can clearly see Nico is trying his very best to get away from the situation just so that he can revive the rest of his players, because he knows that this situation is about to turn bad.
And it's turning bad right now. Kiroro with elimination on a nade as well as an execution. That's quite well. And Nico really is putting so much in there to bring back one of the teammates, but not all of them. So 1 will be coming back, 2 will still remain to be in the waiting to be revived as we head over to Fluxo and Wasp at this point. Arsenal gameplay, and the only question is who grab most of the loots in here. They might be the team who will be winning this fight.
Bobs, what a nade. And now goes in for Domin as well. It's going to be the Blue Wall Meltis. And pulls out the Trogon for the double spray. Gets 2 for the price of 1. Beautiful stuff for Bobs. And the first 2 eliminations courtesy of the man himself. Now Big Boss about to get caught out here by Butchizin. AWM in hand, but Big Boss pulls out a good solid blue wall. Butchizin has got the MP40 in here. Look at the aggression. They're circling on around, and Gio with the assistance from the right-hand side as well. Bison gets the spray so perfectly, and Was still has not shown how they can sting anyone out there.
Yeah, I mean, Mr. Ali right now is flying like a butterfly, but will be falling like a bird at this point. I have a shot coming from MT7. Now, we still have 1 more for a Wask at this point. Where is he? We don't know, but it's still a good chance for a Wask to bring back their teammate. To what extent will they be able to grab a few more points? That is a bigger question that they have in mind.
Rain Gaming up against E1. This was a teaser earlier, which we never really got to see. And Megatron Delta might just ruin the chances of us seeing an all-out fight here. Off-screen, Corinthians meeting EVOS Divine and pretty much burying the players where they see them. So that's not great for EVOS Divine if you are a fan. Omala with the push up alongside Hack, and Ray stands no chance. Hack just meets him halfway through the M1014. Aim God brings Bara back. EVOS Divine just tethering, hanging on for their dear lives.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see if they can bring back the teammates and bring back the honor, but Wask will not be coming back. Lenimo will be taken down by 6 Karma, and there it goes, 11 team remaining. We are now on 2nd phase, going to 3rd, and as you can see, we have Corinthians only grabbing 3 elimination. The chase has been long for them, but they really need to get the points. A team that has made a comeback in a Free Fire or global final scene is now showing up, and this time going against WAG. But is this what they is this a chance that they can risk it playing outside of blue, AJ?
I mean, beautiful play coming through from Allen here. They've got the Electro Weapon running in as well. Omala, their best player, is down on the ground, and if WAG wants to take advantage, now is the time. If Omala steps on back up, that is going to be the end for WAG. But Nike Boy down as well, and they wipe the floor with them. Krillin, the master with the Mag 7. They took out the key player first. That was key to solving the Corinthian problem. WAG strong with the 4 eliminations as they head on into the next phase.
Yeah, in terms of how it is, Corinthians is trying to heal up and trying to get into the blue or onto the safe zone. But with WAG, I mean, that triggers more of their aggression or just the greed of getting a lot of elimination early on this game. Thus, they pay for it. Now, let's see who else is going to pay for it. Because as we can see, a lot of teams are hanging back outside of blue. And we are heading on to Brasilia. I'm not referring to Rio de Janeiro at this point. It's Brasilia in Purgatory.
Brasilia is a huge compound with many of those houses for you to use as defense. So you can expect a little bit of pandemonium on standby here because we're going to have too many teams alive in a tiny little circle. That's not going to be fun to spectate at all. You are not going to know exactly which fight, to exactly look at because it's just going to be all out chaos everywhere in Brasilia. Fluxo's making that approach, slowly taking damage from the blue, but making sure as well that around the vicinity there stands no other squads. But now to make it past this water, they will have to come across a squad. I think I did see them at the very edge of that minimap, and it was CLG, but CLG is a tad bit busy with teams like Falcons as well as Six Karma.
Yeah, I mean, Falcons is already found their piece of real estate inside of Circle, and CLG will be dealt with in a bit if they will be given a chance. But if in case Fluxo tries to get in either way, it will be Team Falcons who might take advantage of those elimination as Fluxo is slowly closing in. So the rest of the teams are already into this next phase, this third phase of the Circle. The only question is who or where will the fort head into?
Uh-oh, Fluxo approaching. Oh, but they got scanned out by the R1. Question is, who brought that out? Was it CLG or Falcons? Either way, Fluxo now has been found out, and they're now watching their backs, which means Fluxo is about to get gate kept. CLG fires a couple of shots up against Geo, finds no connections whatsoever, but the Circle's technically doing all of the damage, and Fluxo doesn't really have a lot of medkits to work with.
Yeah, I mean, they have lost a few more of those resources, especially as they stayed outside. One has gone down already, MT7. Now, let's see if anything can be done by Fluxo. They did use the launch pad to be able to get on top of CLG, but across them is Team Falcon. So they need to be careful if they want to survive the final phase of the Circle and probably bring down Team Falcons at that.
Fluxo could have chosen the wrong route here, but Falcons will make that rotation, which makes this the right route. Peter knocked down onto the ground. G with the woodpecker from afar, and he tries to make a good work up against Ray as well. That showed up out of nowhere. He was fine throwing in a play into the mix.
How Evo's Divine was trying to make their way against Team Falcons. They back away in one corner, and let's see if they can put up a fight because of how aggression as well as how a lot of teams is surrounding them. They might not move an inch and just wait for the perfect timing. Six Karma though, one playing is very close to them. It might be behind this building that Evo's Divine has taken, and he's also biding his time just to make sure that they can grab a few more elimination points if they cannot take, or a few more of placement if they're gonna take elimination.
Smart play coming through from Peter here, breaking down his glue wall just to find a little bit of an angle with the grenade, and those glue walls down. The rest of the players just swoop on into the house, fighting player after player on the side of Evo's Divine, smashing them to the ground. Ray and Bara were able to get out through the window, but where can they run? It's just all out chaos out here. Even if you get away from Falcon, somebody else is bound to shoot you down.
A lot of teams are waiting, and this is a lot of real estate being taken by Planet teams. Peter is putting a lot of pressure on Evo's Divine, but no hits just yet because Trondelta is waiting for their time as well. They might not be surprised to meet up against Team Falcons, but this is a little too late into the game and doesn't have an angle to play with as well.
Falcons said 3 players alive on their side, and Evo's Divine is proving to be too slippery for them to catch. E1 on the other hand, try to focus on the Pain, and the elimination onto Noda stolen away by Pain. And CLG now in a little bit of trouble because here comes a little bit of extra pressure. Dark steps on through and he gets instantaneously punished, and it's just all out chaos between these three.
Yeah, I mean, CLG gets away from their compound, and probably that's the one thing that Fluxo is trying to take as well, but gets into the chaos of all those engagement. E1 Sports, though, just sitting pretty on one side. 9 elimination already. Pow is already out for the count, and what they can do is take advantage of all the chaos that's happening. CLG is trying to do the same thing on the rooftop. I guess they have to go back and pull away from all those engagement and get a better position, and they can grab a few more if E1 Sport will not pressure them from below.
Yeah, it looks like Falcons are not going to be able to make it through to the next circle here. They have been left behind. WAG kind of facing a similar situation as well. Boja will make sure that Falcons doesn't make it through, and the Falcon Hunters are back at it, baby! And they are going in for WAG as well. Bigatron Delta making a name for themselves for sure on the second day. Young now with the Drogon on for the approach. Bitten goes down. It is CLG. Floki from the back. Igwin won't be able to take the back step up against him, but CLG still stands tall up against the Indonesians now. Bigatron Delta 16 eliminations strong up against CLG. 1 down in numbers.
Bigatron Delta going in for the push right now. FAQ is trying to go in for the pickup. Dix flanks over, managed to get away and replaced by Nems onto the push. It is a battle on that top, but Joker as well as Dark is going in. Dark against Dix and only a few HP. There goes the Booyah being taken, and this is a... Was it CL? Yes, CLG.
Yeah,
grabbing that Booyah.
I mean, CLG, I thought it was the end when they flew in straight in between the fight between E1 and Pain Gaming. I thought that was the end, right? But it was not. They handled that craziness. They handled that situation so well. And even towards the point where they were being ambushed by the players of Bigatron Delta, they lost a player first. It was Joker 21 that got shot down. And instead of getting aggressive, they focused on picking him back up and they continued that fight. This one mistake made by Dix on the side of Bigatron. He tried to route around outside the circle, tanking so much of damage from the blue. And obviously that wasn't going to serve him right. This was that sequence of play where he was already low on health. And then he just jumps on out to see if or not he can flank around. That's definitely not going to help him out, man. And Joker 21 with that final shot. And of course, the battle between FAQ and Nems, that was beautiful. Both of them took each other down at the same time.
And because they're playing outside of blue as well, if they have rotated a different way, they might have grabbed that. But let's head over to our host and to their interview as well.
Estamos aqui com o tradutor deles também, tá bom? Então a gente vai fazer nesse mesmo esquema, tá? A gente vai fazer as perguntas em inglês, depois vamos traduzir para o português. Please, Yusu, go ahead.
Thank you, Carol. So, open for our first questions. First of all, congratulations for having your first Booyah. So many people doubt that you are one of the team of the LATAM region, right? Yeah, and many people doubt that they are not strong. So you are here at the global finals and you just got your Booyah to prove that they are wrong. So do you want to say anything about this thought of many people?
Primero que nada, felicidades por ese primer Booyah. Segundo, siendo parte de los equipos latinoamericanos, mucha gente dudaba de por qué tenían que estar aquí. Entonces, ¿tienes algún mensaje que quieras darle a esa gente que dudó acerca de su clasificación?
No, nada, primero que todo, pues muchas gracias. No, pues las personas que dudan de nosotros es obviamente por el bajo nivel que creen que tiene LATAM, pero nada, nosotros venimos aquí a representar bien y es el primero de muchos Booyahs más.
Well, thank you very much to everyone who congratulated us. Now, people normally think or they question our presence here due to the level of the region. However, we have just shown to you that this is the first of many Booyahs.
Perfeito, perfeito. Ela perguntou justamente sobre os times da Latam serem sempre considerados das regiões mais fracas por aqui. E ele prontamente, e ela perguntou se ele teria algum recado em relação a isso. E ele prontamente respondeu que as pessoas podem duvidar deles, mas eles estão aqui para mostrar o potencial deles e vão garantir mais Booyahs pela frente. Okay, so you have a Brazilian coach, and I would like to know, does that help you better understand the Brazilian play style, and how about the current world champions, Fluxo?
Tienen un coach brasileño y quieren saber si eso les ayuda a entender un poco mejor el estilo de juego brasileño y también quieren saber qué opinas acerca del campeón actual Fluxo.
Pues sí, lo del cuadro brasileño siento que sí influye, tiene una mentalidad mucho más avanzada al juego que tenemos acostumbrado en Latinoamérica y siento que sí influye y pues lo que pienso de Fluxo es que son un muy buen equipo.
Having a Brazilian coach does influence their thought process. He has a very different thought process than what we have in the Latin American region, and he thinks that Fluxo is a really good team.
Perfeito. Perguntei para ele sobre a importância, né, de ter um treinador brasileiro. Para quem não sabe, o técnico do time da CLG é o Anreda, que é bem conhecido dentro do nosso cenário competitivo. Perguntei para ele sobre a importância de ter esse coach, né, o Anreda como técnico, e ele falou que realmente é muito importante, que eles conseguem ter uma visão melhor também dos outros times, tanto brasileiros quanto os tailandeses. E também perguntei sobre o Fluxo, os atuais campeões mundiais, e eles acham que eles são muito bons. Família, vamos agora para os melhores momentos, porque a gente já teve Buia brasileiro e Buia da Latam. Tô sentindo que hoje Latinoamérica vai dominar. Highlights?
Yes, and first Booyah belong to Brazil and now Latam. It's really interesting for today, right?
Yeah.
Unlike usual, like yesterday. So, we will continue our third match, and now let's head back to the caster and watch our analyze.
All right, here we go. The highlights right here. And one thing about the Chile team, that is the reason why they are so aggressive right now is because of two things. And that joke's coming in.
Because they're spicy.
They're spicy, they're hot, and they are stone cold. That's how Chile is.
Amen, bro. Amen, bro. And of course, it was fantastic to see CLG pick this up because, you know, yesterday was not the best of days for them. They struggled quite a little bit, but this is that comeback day. This is the comeback day for the West as a whole. This is a opportunity for LATAM to really prove themselves alongside Brazil. And we have seen the consistency in terms of LATAM and Brazil getting into the final circle. And obviously the East getting tortured. Surprisingly, Falcons is not able to find a rhythm. Attack all around. Just flunking out with just 3 points. And look at this, man. Evos Divine only managed to grab 4 this time round. But as I say that, Fluxo, something went wrong for the team this time round. I don't know what it is, but they need to find that recovery before it's too late.
It's more of the positioning that they have. They like played so much time outside of the next phase or every phase of the circle. Thus, they were delayed in their rotation. We saw that earlier when they were spotted out with the binoculars and they had no choice but to step out. And that's one of their players that went down. And that is where they like everything broke down for them. No real estate to take, no more or less one of the players, and all of the chaos that's happening right there just broke their tactics.
Yeah, and that was something that we were expecting as well, right? When the circle was heading into Brasilia, we already anticipated there were going to be too many teams alive in that circle. And obviously, you know, even Fluxo getting kicked out, we could barely see any bit of that feed because we were focusing on all of those crazy battles that were going on out there. Dark is the MVP. 3 eliminations, 2,153 on the damage, 2 assists as well. The gun that he was most proficient with, as well as mostly used by him in this game, was the Trogon. And the Rebel Rush really gets him into situations where he can get away from those heated battles. But at the same time, if he wanted that extra heat, he could hop right in there.
I mean, Kairos is being used as well at this point, and it's one thing to have a defense mode as well as a breaker mode. You can use that EP as your defense breaker. So we've seen that being used by a lot of teams as well. It is a crucial factor that you can break down defense if you are going in for a rush or a close battle engagement. But as you can see, we have a few eliminations, only a few eliminations in this game for CLG. It's because of all the chaos that's happening. Everyone else is just grabbing their own points.
Right now, the top 4 teams in play here for day 2 is Brazil as well as Chile. We have got the LATAM squad of CLG. We've got Fluxo. We've got E1 as well as Spain Gaming in the mix. Great stuff from them. We want to see more before, obviously, the showdown of the Thai teams come through once again.
But going back to the point before the game of Purgatory, this might just not be the best map for Fluxo. Thus, they didn't perform that well. So we'll have to find out. They can carry it over on Alpine. They did well in yesterday's game, or they did well in yesterday's game, grabbing 18 points. So if that is the case, they can continue on their reign for the day. But is that enough to overtake the ones coming from Group A? And when I say overtake, just overtake them in a well-fashioned manner that they, even if they rest, they can still take a higher point or a top 3 for that matter.
Yeah, I mean, no doubt at all. they should be able to pull that off for sure. And in the grand scheme of things, it's all about overtaking Twisted Minds and Buriram on the overall leaderboard and leaving them in the dust. That's the more important point, because tomorrow, when they come into play, Fluxo will not be in here already. This is the final 6 chances for Fluxo in this week to really pick up as many points as possible, and they have already used up 2 opportunities, which means only 4 more are left, and they cannot afford more games like this purgatory. And of course, they have to start praying now that the random map is not purgatory.
Definitely. It's either Bermuda or Alpine, because from yesterday they placed second, decent amount of elimination, and this time they grabbed the Booyah on Bermuda. So we're expecting that the next map of Alpine might be a map that will be taken by Fluxo, unless CLG or Corinthians or the other teams will take it away from them. But the key players in this game, Bigatron, it's still Southeast Asia, Bigatron Delta with 2 players in there, 6 elimination coming for Koja, and 2,612 damage coming from Dix. Peter with 9 grenades being used as a rusher of Team Falcons, but Team Falcons really didn't play that much or that well in this map, in this game. Let's see how much they can put in onto the following map.
I mean, looks like Bigatron Delta is going to overtake CLG for sure. Look at these numbers, man. 10 eliminations just between Koja and Nems. Dix with the 5 on his side as well. WAG, it is all out Southeast Asia on the elimination leaderboard. Yes, we did see Brazil. Yes, we did see LATAM in that final circle. But it looks like Southeast Asia was working on a totally different strategy in this purgatory map.
It's because of a lot of teams coming from all regions in that final circle. It's just the Southeast Asian teams take advantage of that chaos. The other teams, we've seen them just hide back. They try to like put down or eliminate those who are already knocked down, but they're not giving that much chance. That like the Southeast Asian region, we know how it is. Aggression overall, close quarter battle. They will get and try to get those elimination to themselves, even if the other team has knocked them out. But today's standings, as you did mention, Fluxo is still taking the lead now, followed by CLG as well as E1 Sports. It's very, very close between them. Let's include Pain Gaming at this point, where in the rest of the teams, most of them coming from Group C. Let's see how they come back.
Absolutely. And of course, Bigatron Delta, just with a single game of decent performance, has managed to really climb the leaderboard this time around. So this is good to see, but the question is, can they find that consistency within them? Because once again, this is supposedly an all-out Brazilian and LATAM day. They have been performing very, very well. They feel comfortable. They have already found their rhythm. They did all of their homework off of day 1, and it's coming to fruition here. And let's take a look at the overall standings as well. Those that are grayed out are, of course, from Group A. They're not in play for the day.
Yeah, I love how this is displayed right now. At least the fans out there know who they are looking out to for, and as well as the lead that their teams or the teams that they're cheering on needs to break to be able to overtake that. And the last time I saw that, it's only 2 points that Fluxo need to be able to overtake Buriram United, and Buriram United as well as Twisted Mind has a 20 point in between them. So one good match can bring Fluxo to that #1 spot, and then they have more chances to put more of those points, increase the chance that they can stay on that #1 come tomorrow.
And when you say one good match, we're talking about a Booyah here, because 22 points is all they need. They secure the Booyah. They are pretty much going to be in excess of 20 points. That should put them in that #1 spot, and then 3 more games to really extend the lead, because clearly Twisted Minds, Buriram, they are no strangers to picking up points. And Buriram picked up close to 100 points yesterday with their analysts playing on the global stage. That is unreal. that has never happened before.
Bro, I mean, I'm just happy to see D-Long or Deck Long in there, because as an OG, I'm not talking about OG player, but an old guy. I mean, I really love to see Titos out there playing out in tournaments just like this. Give me hope. It gives me hope that I can do the same.
Amen, but he wasn't really fragging, so
at least he's playing.
He was spotting. He got a few assists in there. He was tossing out those nades. You know, Jonah was like, "Okay, bro, I know I'm the bomber, but this time you toss those bombs out. We will focus on the gunfights," and that's exactly what happened. But you know, he held his own out there. crazy stuff. Even though I was impressed, fingers crossed we have Moshi back for the A versus C. Tomorrow is going to be a very, very heavy day. But of course, the TVC for you guys before we hop on into the match. Wait a little bit.
Yeah. In 3, 2, 1, 2, 3.
Okay, I guess I get to talk a little bit longer. But, you know, of course, we talked about how Fluxo was...
G. That Bermuda and Purgatory already done. Alpine will be next, and we'll have to find out if this will be another Fluxo run at this point. We are eyeing Fluxo to grab that Booyah, but a lot of teams has great potential to take it, and it was mentioned by AJ as well. And you did mention that AJ earlier, that Bigatron Delta has had one run that brought them to number 4 by this day, or for this day, but they haven't grabbed that Booyah. So out of the top 7, they're the only ones up there with no Booyahs yet.
Absolutely, and of course,
eu estou ótima, mais do que preparada para nossa próxima queda.
Yes, and this is our 3rd game, and you know, I just want to jump right into the game and watch people play and fight their best, so I want to see who is next Booyah, right?
E bora decolar, porque os jogadores já estão posicionados, então aguenta coração, porque decolagem foi... Strong Play!
Have it. We are now in Alpine. Earlier we saw the Chile team grab that Booyah. This is also another Chile map, so let's see if this is CLG's way of getting so much point. As we look at the flight path right now, coming from Ocean View, going into Vantage, the teams are spreading out, but compared to what we've seen earlier, they are spread out too close to each other. Thus, a lot of early engagement has happened, AJ.
WAG, they look like they are in for a little bit of hot action as Pain Gaming chooses to drop by Rivermount. X-Ball getting caught out here by Noda. Allen picking up on this instantaneously and trying to give that support fire. It looks like Noda is in for some good pain shortly. Gets in the man. Is not going to be able to get away from this. Gus gets sprayed down. Noda still hanging on with the XM8 in hand. Spots the player, but it's 2 players with the electrotherapy in hand as well. Cyrus gets the spray.
Noda. At that point, I mean, because of the electrotherapy, his name has been put in as no damage, as he wasn't able to put in a fight in that engagement. 3 elimination already being brought in by WAG. Binoculars being used to scan out anyone left, but no one else is in there. Very close to them is Team Fluxo that can bring more of a great battle or more points for Fluxo or WAG if they meet up.
A bounty has been put out for Bobs as he was the closest one to this area of WAG. And as Motovia gets away from the rest of those players, Bigatron Delta might just be able to pick up on him. Man has got no coins just yet, still out on a mission. to pick up a few extras. Now, there is a coin machine right outside that compound, but that's going to be putting him straight in the crosshairs of Bigatron Delta. And it looks like Kyong might have just sniffed him out already. This looks like it's going to be all over for Pain Gaming. The guy cannot afford to buy back anyone just yet. Tell me he lucked out here. Tell me he lucked out here. I think he lucked out.
Oh, let's see. I mean, let's see if he'll be spotted by Bigatron Delta. But Motovea really needs to get away, probably in a car, in a motor vehicle at this point, as Bigatron Delta is just on his heels. He's alone.
Shut up, man.
I'm sorry, I'm on a roll. That joke's on a roll.
Oh, the vehicle. But you know what he's really good at? He's really good at keeping his head down. And I cannot believe Bigatron Delta didn't spot him up. Are they coming in for the coin machine, or are they coming in here for the man who's good with the motor vehicles? I had to. He couldn't wait anymore. Stayed up, starts firing, and Kyong will find the final bullet in a coffin for Pain Gaming, and gets eliminated early this time round.
And there you have it. I mean, they felt the pain, and they will be feeling it for a few more minutes until the next map is on. But Bigatron Delta, one elimination at this point, and they just need to make their way from Vantage to the bigger part of the map. E1 Sports, though, is N1 compounds being spread out, is 6 Karma. But Bad is feeling bad at this point, as he left out only a few HP before he heals in, and Bad is still being gunned down. Mr. Ali goes in for a 1-2 punch.
Oh my god, it's Wask! And the aggression is paying off. Delax, can he get away? No, he cannot. Mr. Ali says, you stop right there. The points are for us, finally. It's Wask that's popping off. And it looks like Pocho and Bad gonna have a really, really rough time here. Pocho especially surrounded by E1 Sports as well as Wask. Man's not in a good place. Bad has to go on a recovery spree here now. And enough of you, Mr. Ali, says Pocho, finally putting him to rest.
And Mr. Ali just floated like a butterfly, but fell down like a bee. And Bad right now in a bad spot, being alone. And E1 Sports as well as Wask surrounding them. Binoculars being used on the other side of the map. It is a Fluxo go against Corinthians, but Corinthians has been split up. Will this work for them to their favor, or will Fluxo take advantage of them spread out? Buddhiston tries to go in for the flank a little bit too deep, though, if in case he's spotted. But MT7 goes in for a hack takedown, and this is a push that Fluxo can take advantage of.
I mean, these boys, they swapped out Yago for MT7, and he's no slouch, right? Look at him, man. Clear shots he's taking with that M82B, which is in, though. Makes one little mistake, and the VSK does find him in the chest. Sprayed down. Nike Boy will be traded out by GU. Thus far, Fluxo doing pretty well up against Corinthians, forcing them to back away from this gunfight.
Yeah, I mean, Alpine is a map that Fluxo is very comfortable with, and they grab a lot of points from yesterday. So I guess it's true. What we have seen is Purgatory is not their map, and they can just push that away right now and focus on those engagement. But Evil Divine, Barra, a little bit too cheeky in his position, and Clearin with a triple takedown with that M79.
Oh my god, what a payback from WAG. That's what you get from stopping us from claiming our Booyah earlier on, says WAG. My goodness, what a nade from Krillin. It just took one to get that triple. The final play is sprayed down, and he's got 4 eliminations to his name already. He must be smiling at this point.
Oh, definitely. I mean, he is smiling. We've seen him grow from being the bottom fragger of the team and now just leading the fray in terms of in this global stage. But CLG right now just hanging back, similar to what we've seen Fluxo did. They don't want to be that aggressive. They just want to find out where the enemies are. Nando go on a 1v1 against Bobs. Let's see who's going to win. But Fluxo has the rest of the team jumping in. Just get away. We want to go in 1v1. Let's see who's the best best player.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Nando X wants this 1v1. Bob's waiting for that backup. Very smartly played. And Butchison shows up with the Bison to the head. And Fluxo now 5 eliminations strong. 10 more teams left on out here. As Evos Divine actually brings back a couple of players on the revive as well.
Yeah, 10 teams rather in this play, but Fluxo doing it once again, staying outside of the blue, waiting for perfect opportunity. I don't know if this is a perfect opportunity for them to move in, because they will be taken after 7 seconds to be chased by the blue again, and their approach might be on to Rai, but as you can see, we have Corinthians already going in there from Rivermount, as well as WAG coming from base camp. So it is a risky move for Fluxo as they head into stadium and made a long route to go into the next phase.
Very interesting rotation coming through from Fluxo here. They just taking advantage of the fact that the circle number 2 doesn't really hurt that much. Attack all around, flying on in, potentially to meet 6 Karma, and what a meeting that was. Straight up 2 players down on the ground. Posho, the final survivor. 200 more coins in his pocket, but Evos Divine shows up. This is the end for Karma.
And there you have it. 6 Karma eliminated on 10th, and Evos Divine grabbed their 3rd of elimination in this game. UAV has been put out. E1 Sports heading in onto the middle, and this is what they did earlier. Thus, they survived that battle. But will this work at this point? 9 teams alive. Attack all around might be going in and beat down Evos Divine, unless Evos Divine will be able to fortify this militia camp.
It looks like the Southeast Asian teams are sick and tired of losing already, because this is a very strong comeback from them. But it is going to be a little bit of infighting here between the C teams. Evos Divine up against attack all around, and they cannot get away unless, of course, they've got a little bit of the launch pad with them. Limit with the VSK straight to the head of Ray, stops him dead in his tracks. Grenade does not reach its target, but the rest of the attack all around players are not taking a pause at all. Continuously forcing Evos Divine to turn tails and run straight towards E1 and CLG. Not looking good if you're Evos Divine.
Evos Divine right now stuck in a corner. Attack all around will try to beat them down. Ledge pod to get away past the 2 teams that you did mention, and they utilize that UAV to make sure that they have a free spot to take in. Though they have lost A-backs, but they have gained a good position, and they are just in the middle of everyone else. Unsuspecting players might be taken down by this team if they do so.
Unintentional bait from Evos Divine. They finally used their launch pad just in the nick of time to get away from E1. And E1 was like, hey, wait. They took those free shots and then they went back to focusing on CLG. Now, if E1 and CLG, they do battle early on, we're probably going to have a Southeast Asian final circle here, because it's not looking good for the Brazilian as well as LATAM region. There's been a lot of infighting at the very start, and of course, Southeast Asia is all of a sudden super aggressive out there. Now, here comes Falcons. Let's see if or not they'll keep up the praise for the Southeast Asian squads by taking down the Corinthians. Nike Boy tagged up from the back, courtesy of one more. Riptide Rhythm will tear down his defenses, and Tororo meets him from the right-hand side. And Falcons will continue their aggression, finding their first elimination of the game.
Yeah, it is a revenge mission by Team Falcons against Corinthians. Just looking out where the rest of Corinthians is, and vehicle gameplay might work for them, especially as the blue is closing in. Third going to fourth, it might hurt a little bit, and they need to get their place. Forest Red or crossing Forest Red will be their area, but they can wait a little bit more. Let's take a look, replay of what happened on WAG, and this is where that elimination happened, AJ.
Absolutely, and of course, I want to see the grenade from Brilliant. This was Corinthians.
Oh, I guess we won't see that triple nade coming on.
I guess we won't. Hopefully, we do have that in the highlights later on once this match is over. I mean, I definitely want to get a sneak peek at that. But of course, Falcons 3 eliminations strong now. Seeing the players of CLG on the opposite side who are going to try to gatekeep the Falcons. And Falcons actually have this body of water to cross over. And CLG will have to actually make a rotation towards the right or left-hand side in order to meet and have a little bit of clear line of sight up against Falcons. But it seems like Falcons are in no rush whatsoever to find this next circle.
Yeah, I mean, they're bleeding that war chest out to level 3 and probably finding a few more, a launch pad probably to get into the fray, but they are an edge off this safe zone. So I guess there's no rush indeed. They can take advantage of all the chaos later on as it goes away from them. But the Dinoculars has spotted E1 Esports, but on the other side, we have Fluxo go against WAG. Let's see who goes in for the fight. Bobs will try to run away, a sliver of health, but run into the corner, and health will be brought in by the rest of the teams, but it doesn't work against Alan.
Oh, pushes in, almost down. Quillen does get right on FD7. What a back-to-back connection, but he gets taken down as well. As anticipated, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Southeast Asia has awoken. And it looks like Brazil is going to end up struggling here. GU trying his very best to at least get this one knocked down, but all he did was just take down one blue wall. Riptide Rhythm will tear down the defenses, and that takes Fluxo out of the equation.
GU has lost geography at that point. No land to stand in. WAG has grabbed a lot of elimination. 12 points indeed. And as you said, Southeast Asia is back, baby.
Shut up, Neptune. What geography?
No land to stand in. He's left out.
All right, one more Southeast Asian team. The bar has been set. Can you take CLG out of the equation? Attack all around. Not really finding their rhythm just yet. But if they can't do it, you're potentially going to flush CLG straight into the contest of EVOS Divine or Falcon. But now, WAG off-screen Corinthians, they got cooked. Southeast Asia all of a sudden on fire.
Still, we still have CLG, who's putting a lot of pressure on attack all around. Team Falcon slowly closing in from behind, and it might not be suspected by CLG. Here comes the pressure of Home God going in for the rush, but will be taken down. Jump God goes in on that Rebel rush as well into the open against Team Falcon. The pressure is on, and Floki will be taken down. FAQ might be next, and Dart and Joker won't be laughing at all.
Yeah, attack all around. They got caught off guard here, just thinking that they had one team to deal with, but instead it was Falcons out of nowhere that brought the pressure in, spraying down two of their players. And at the end, Falcons, they stand strong. And can you believe it? Wasp stands between three Southeast Asian teams here for the Booyah, and they've got a 22% potential win rate.
Oh, I mean, the Moroccan team will be in here awaken at this point. I mean, it's just the fight that that Mr. Ali has brought in.
Yeah,
they are going floating like a butterfly, stinging like a bee.
Come on, Wasp. This is the time. This is the moment. You gotta wait for the opportune moment. On fire, down on the ground. AimGod with the beautiful vector spray will be able to get one. And look at the backup coming on through. One more. Stands his ground, shutting down Bara. AimGod gets taken out of the equation as well. And out goes EVOS Divine. Falcon, though, with On Fire still bleeding out. WAG trying their very best to take advantage, and they do that so beautifully. Allen with the double, courtesy of the Drogon. Krillin finds the nade as well. Falcons, you do not get the booyah. And Wasp stands up against WAG for the final sequence.
18 eliminations being brought in by the Vietnamese team, WAG, and Mr. Ali is being pressured right now. X-Boar tries to go in for the flank, and let's see if they can take them down. Mr. Ali pulls out that Skylar, and they are now struggling to go in for the push against Waz. Therin needs to make do, Famas in hand, but no damage is being dealt. Allen receiving all of those, but managed to heal up.
I don't know what Mr. Ali was thinking, because his Skylar's shot of the Riptide Rhythm took down his own team's glue wall. So this is not working out the way they planned. But Wasp still hanging on with one final player. It is the one and only Big Boss. But Cyrus has the Drogon, finish the job, and WAG grabs the booyah in a solid way.
WAG, I mean, they are back. A lot of nation being brought in this game, and we didn't expect that until we saw it. But against Team Falcons, against a lot of teams who are trying to against Big Honda, against CLG, you got the Booyah as well. I mean, WAG is just a different monster. They are wanting this. They are just, I mean, they are loving this time that they have stepped back into the global scene.
I mean, 34 points. What a booyah by WAG, setting a brand new record here at the global finals for the Free Fire World Series. And for a Vietnamese team to do that, dude, Vietnam has grown so much from the days we started off 3-4 years ago casting for this game, man. I mean, what a journey it has been. Back then, we only had Flash. Now we've got a plethora of squads from Vietnam to make the region proud.
Yeah, let's see
Time
what
da
interview
UAG
is
fazendo seu
going to
primeiro
get
buia
at
por
this point. So
aqui.
let's bring
E a
over
gente tá
to
vendo
our
que é o
host
seguinte
and
aqui, né? A
account.
gente já começou com um buia do Vietnã ontem e hoje mais um, só que em um time diferente. Yusu, where are you?
Oh my gosh, Vietnamese, you're so handsome. Can you please introduce yourself and why are you here? Trời ơi, người Việt Nam, mình thấy bạn đẹp trai, quá. Bạn tên gì vậy? Bạn có thể giới thiệu bản thân của mình và tại sao bạn lại ở đây được không ạ?
Mình là Xbo, mình đến từ đội tuyển Quá nè.
Và tại sao bạn lại ở đây?
Mình đây để bắn giải Free Fire Global.
Oh. Hello everybody, I'm Explorer, I'm from WAG and I'm here for Free Fire World Series Global Finals.
Perfeito, o Wilson pediu aqui para ele se apresentar, para ele contar mais um pouco de quem é ele. Ele falou que ele é o Explorer, ele tá aqui para jogar também no Free Fire World Series e tá aqui para mostrar, né, para que o Vietnã veio. Congratulations in this first booyah of yours, and I would like to know what your biggest expectations for Free Fire World Series 2024.
Thì lời đầu tiên là chào mừng bạn đã đến với Free Fire World Series Global Final. Thì không biết là bạn có cái mong đợi của bạn lớn nhất ở đây dành cho cái giải đấu này là cái gì vậy ạ?
Mong muốn lớn nhất của mình là mang về chức vô địch cho Việt Nam ạ.
Our biggest expectation is bringing the first place, the championship for Vietnam.
Perfeito. Perguntei pra ele qual é a maior expectativa dele de estar aqui no Mundial de Free Fire. E ele falou que, com certeza, a maior expectativa dele é levar o troféu de volta pra casa no Vietnã.
So Explorer, from the beginning, in our first game, I saw that WAG has a little bit difficulties. Is that just for chilling or you guys did that on purpose so you guys can know all the other teams' weak points? Thì ở trận đấu đầu tiên là chúng ta đã có một chút xíu khó khăn. Thì không biết là WAG chúng mình là lúc đó là gặp khó khăn thật hay là chỉ là muốn khảo sát thị trường xung quanh thôi ạ?
Bọn em chấp game 1 ạ.
Oh my god!
Okay, introduce.
We throw that game away for fun.
Really?
Yeah. We like, I will give you guys one game and then we will beat you guys later.
Uou! Ok. Ela comentou um pouco sobre a primeira partida deles, que eles perderam o buia deles, né? Então eles deram uma entregada e ele prontamente respondeu: Ó, não tem muito o que fazer, eu vou te dar essa de agora, mas já já eu volto pra pegar o meu. E ele com certeza veio pra pegar o buia dele aqui agora. E o primeiro buia da WAG já foi feito agora nessa terceira partida. Vamos para os nossos melhores momentos. Highlights!
Thank you so much and congratulations to WAG. We're so proud of you. And now let's head back to our caster and start our analyze.
WAG trash talking, everyone. I never thought I would see the day. But what a beautiful game this was for the squad, especially with the Krillin with a triple grenade. And this was that point, right, where Dix, Kyong, Koja all went down to Krillin. I mean, on their knees they were. And at that point, it was pretty much confirmed already that Southeast Asia was just playing this on a whole other level. The first two games, they went super aggressive. But the third game, you know, Southeast Asia just turned on a different sort of a switch and just flipped on everyone.
Yeah, they flipped on everyone, but for Fluxo though, I mean, they managed to overtake Korea United after the game or after that game, but they didn't grab the booyah as expected. But for WAG, again, I did mention earlier that they're taking advantage of this spot because for the longest time, since 2019, the team, the organization WAG, only managed to step into the Free Fire World Cup. And this is the time that WAG can show up once again and put their name on the board. Hopefully this continues on. I'm not cheering on just for WAG, but for the others who have stepped in first in this year's Global Series.
And we really have to respect Alan. I mean, he was playing the Cassie. The electrotherapy bond was there. And he went outside the circle just to keep the connection on so that his rusher can go in for those engagements. After getting knocked down by the blue zone, he still managed to crawl back into the circle, maintaining that electrotherapy bond to make sure Krillin could do the crazy sort of damage that he could do out there as well. I mean, there's just no other way to call this. It was a phenomenal play from everybody on the side of WAG. Massive number of eliminations, and they have officially set the record. Vietnam has set the record.
Yeah, Vietnam has set the record, the highest points or highest elimination point that can be grabbed in a match for the global stage, for global series. Now let's see if they can do that again or if other teams can beat it. But most of the time, every time this record has been set, a lot of teams will try to do so because that has challenged them to bring out everything and stop all the studying. But as we go in on the team stats, we have Clearing with 8 elimination, Cyrus and Alan with 6. Though Export didn't get so much, but in terms of assists as well as damage, he had put in second. So that is how crucial Export is in a sniper.
Oh yeah, for sure, right? I mean, everybody needs a little bit of long-range backup, and that's exactly what Export delivers. And this time, key players, it's all out Vietnam, it's all out WAG. Whether it comes to the eliminations, damage, or the grenades used out there, these guys are sweeping it. It was a WAG game. Nobody else is the highlight here.
It was all out Clearing over the key players. I mean, he's just across the board. Regardless, he just takes over. And again, I'm really loving how it is right now for WAG as well as for Southeast Asia.
Yeah.
That as we look at the elimination leader, he tops it for this day, but he is followed just from those coming from WAG. Floki, though, made his way as well with 4 elimination, and Karoro from Team Falcons as also with 4 elimination. Now let's see how this changed the landscape of this battle for the second half of this day, because 3 maps already done.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, in the grand scheme of things, this officially makes WAG the #1 team of the day. It obviously doesn't give them the #1 spot on the overall leaderboard. This is their first day of play. But in terms of overall performance between Group C and B, they have scored a total of 49 points, and they sit down at the very top. This is exactly what your guys are looking in front of you right now. And just prior to this game, it was all-out dominance between LATAM as well as Brazil. But finally, you do see the Southeast Asian teams inching in closer and closer to the rest of them.
Yeah, I mean, it's only a few that manage, or it's only WAG though, that managed to get on top, and the rest is still coming from Brazil and Latin America.
Yeah.
So let's see how the rest of the teams will try to bring it forward, especially from Bigatron Delta, attack around Evos. And I love the comeback as well that has been done by Wask at that point, but it's just not enough for them to move higher from the bottom 3 for this day.
Yeah, unfortunate for Wask. They just can't find their gunfights right. And I don't know what the team is doing in their regular season in terms of scrimmages, but they have to find a way to find a few extra international battles. I mean, get into the thick of the action. Try to scrim against, the teams that are from Thailand if possible. Just try to hop into their battles for the time being, because they need to brush up on their capabilities out there on the battlefield. Their rotations, fine in the final circle, beautiful. They have got the strategy down, but when it comes down to the eliminations, they're just not able to cut it just yet.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the same goes for Corinthians. They are currently the bottom for this day, and despite of them putting down Team Falcons earlier on, I mean, there's a lot more that they can bring in onto this fight. Remember, going back, again, it's the early parts of the Free Fire World Series that has bring so much of different flavor in terms of the champions. Like Corinthians managed to grab when they were in Rio for the Free Fire World Series 2019, they grabbed that champion, and now that they're back home soil, let's see if they can bring it back. But again, today's performance, first 3 days, is not working for them.
At the end of the day, it's all about the qualification into Point Rush. You just need to be in the top 12. You don't get any extra money if you do qualify in the top 12. So, you know, where you are on the top 12 matters not. You can literally be the 12th team. So as long as Corinthians kind of keep up with their end of the bargain in that way, I think I'm going to be smiling. But of course, once again, it was started off with a Brazilian booyah and then a Latin American booyah and now a Southeast Asian booyah. We are ticking all boxes today.
Oh yeah, let's see. I mean, we might see a different region taking another booyah, probably a team from Mexico, but it doesn't show just yet. Now, we are going for another game. We're heading over.
Tudo certo por aqui, Raginha, e bora decolar pra Kalahari, Ansu.
Yes, and the first map is Kalahari, and today's game is so bomb with many teams got Muya. So we are about ready to take off. So sit down, have your Pringles, and let's enjoy the first game.
E os jogadores já estão posicionados, então aguenta coração, porque Authorize é o despegue!
Kalahari time, baby, as we head on into the desert. Y'all gotta remember to bring your Pringles, baby, because it's gonna be a little difficult to find some food out here.
Oh yeah, I mean, that's one thing similar to what we're seeing in engagement. Once it pops, it don't stop, and that is what we love in this battle. Pringles overall has brought in a lot of pops, and that is what we're seeing right now from Team Falcons and E1.
And it looks like, oh my god, it's Big Boss that steals away the elimination. I like that, Wask. Do whatever it takes to get those elimination points. WAG off to a fantastic start once again, this time up against Train Gaming. And it looks like it will be a back-to-back where they get shut them down. To be a down, and the team is out. What a start by WAG.
First team being eliminated, Pain Gaming. They are feeling the pain right now, back to back on this 12th spot. And WAG, I mean, I love the showing. I love the aggression. Hopefully it doesn't go too much to their head, because we know how it is. If you're too overconfident, especially with the performance that they had in the previous map, they might be careless and might go down a little bit too quicker, despite of the 4 eliminations that they have right now.
And that's the old Vietnam. The new Vietnam wants to do it just so that Yun Sol can get more camera time, right? So
it's not like that. She doesn't have that.
It's just like that, all right? WAG is not gonna drop the ball. I mean, this is the proof is in the pudding. The proof is in the pudding, whereby they just secured the booyah. The old WAG would have gotten eliminated in the 12th spot.
Oh yeah.
But
I mean, that was a pattern.
The first team to secure 4 elimination points.
That was a pattern. That was a pattern that we keep seeing back then. But let's see. I mean, we have Dela XS, who is in trouble. Oh, I'm not quite sure what's happening. Oh,
Nani?
One players from Attack Around just passed through them. And didn't check the corner. And now the focus is on Pocho.
I cannot believe I just saw that on the global stage. Pocho now gonna get hunted down. Excavating in hand, switches out to the SMG. Cougar cannot find the elimination just yet. Circles around. Pocho bad. All 3 players down on the side of 6K. Nico, the final player left, but he is being pursued as well. Can he survive? 900 coins. He can buy back his players here from the vending machine. So 6K, 6 Karma, they will continue to live on.
Yeah, two players being brought back. Dela XS, I mean, the guy who was not seen. He can't be moved and can't be seen as well. But failing right now, a little bit too cheeky, going in against 3 players of a Wask. And he goes down. The Nemo with a shotgun gameplay. 2 eliminations already being brought in by Wask. And the question is, where are the rest of WAG? They suddenly went missing, or was Krillin just a little bit too aggressive at this point?
Yeah, Krillin was just way too cheeky, man. But, you know, I'm loving what Wask is doing. 2 eliminations, early game. Leo Nemo is stacked with the coins. I'm feeling good. And as long as they find the final circle once again, I will not care if they purely play the placement points, as long as they get to the final circle and make some noise in this global finals. Fluxo flies over 6 Karma, and it looks like Nico is just so good at hiding away from these players.
I mean, I guess that's a skill that Six Karma has developed over the years, and let's see if that will work for them. And elimination 6 of Nico, though. Let's see if that can push through for the rest of Fluxo. MT7 trying to go in, but still managed to leave empty-handed. No elimination, no damage being dealt to Nico because of the XM8 that he has at this point.
Nico making sure he follows up with MT7, slowly cutting down the distance, but obviously MT7 has called for the backup already, which is in, spotting him from afar, but MT7 literally does the job all on his own. I love what he did there, being the sniper of the squad, puts so much of space between him and his opponent, and then turns around and turns the tables as well. EVOS Divine, on the other hand, though, up against E1. It looks like they are taking quite a bit of damage. Aim got revived already. And the man drops right back in here. E1 Sports with that high ground, making great work of their position.
E1 Sports is one of the teams that carries too much of a sniper at this point. If I'm not mistaken, it's a triple sniper that they have right now, and they are taking advantage of the terrain that they have against EVOS Divine. But it's the finisher that they need to put in to get those points. And EVOS Divine, you know how it is. Once they recover, they might flank over onto the other side and go in for the backstab. But we switch over to the other part of the map, attack all around, being hunted and stalked by Fluxo at this point.
Fluxo can we get the job done here. Poon God, grenade goes wide and Bobs does not miss. Bags himself up with the corner of that wall. GU sprayed down by Poon God. Things not going so well for Fluxo. Bobs needs to get at least one elimination here. Tosses out the grenade with the grenade launcher. Does not find the connection and has got the AC-80 in hand. But the man's going to get sprayed down by 2 players at the same time. Bobs still surviving, but Jump God finally nails him, puts him down on the ground. GU already revived limit. Will be traded out by MT7 here, but the rest of the battalion is reaching him slowly. Butcherson finds Cougar and attack all around. All of a sudden finds a fair fight in Fluxo. Oh, what
MT7, no. Oh my goodness. I mean, this is the only guy that we've seen in many instances up close and personal with a sniper, but seen on the backup. Only one remains for attack all around. Jump on might not be able to jump around, and they will be out on 11.
MT7 with the penta on the eliminations. This man is insane.
Again, I joked around him being empty-handed after that engagement, but I guess he heard me. He don't want to be empty-handed and wants to grab all those eliminations. On the other side, we are seeing Team Falcons going against CLG, and they are in the middle of the next phase of the circle. The rest of the teams now needs to move in. There's still a little bit of opening in north west of this next circle, so let's see who takes that just underneath or on next of Foundation. As we continue on with CLG and Team Falcons, I guess Team Falcons needs to back away because they heard EVOS Divine comes in onto the other side.
My brain still has not recovered from that MT7 play, bro. What? Dude, because they were actually getting flushed out. GU went down. Fluxo should have lost that fight, but MT7 came out clutch out of nowhere. I mean, Fluxo, they better give the man a raise for sure. Especially if they win the championship this time and become the back-to-back champions through the squad. And, of course, as I say, back-to-back champions, here's a team that knows what it means to win back-to-back championships at the FFWS the previous year, or previous time, alongside that Esports World Cup. But now, potentially going to leave CLG waiting as they find a couple of engagements and shots back and forth up against EVOS Divine.
Yeah, I mean, let's see how well they can play it out against CLG as well as EVOS Divine, with Joker not joking around. And on the other side, Bigatron Delta, a team that has a been taken down by WAG a little bit early from the previous map, is trying to go back into the play. 1-3 split, Koja backing off on the flank, probably getting a good angle onto E1 Esports as a pressure is being brought in, and there goes the launch pad. Pow is still alive though. Will he be able to fly? Yes, he did fly high, but falls down, and Pow eliminated, and the rest of the teams are struggling to get away. They're out and open.
Yeah, that was just a panic play from E1 Sports. They tried to aim for just behind the building, but landed out in the open grounds and got sprayed down by Megatron Delta. And obviously, it does not help the situation that 6 Karma was in angle to find a couple of shots on them as well. Just unnecessary battles, gunshots sustained there for E1 Sports. And look at Megatron Delta just going in for the push and not really waiting at all, not wasting time. Vision gonna get caught with his pants down with the Bison in hand, but he will still get sprayed by the Trogon, courtesy of Dix.
Yeah, and Bigatron Delta, third elimination being taken. 6 Karma very close on them, but they might have heard that, but they might not be focusing on 6 Karma at this point. They will need to recover, get all those resources, and then see if they can get a good angle. One of the players from Bigatron Delta has already managed to grab a good position on the high ground in that tower, but on the other side, they are looking into that refinery gameplay coming from Corinthians.
Brazil cannot allow Southeast Asia to take over the momentum here, so they have to shut them down, and they have to shut them down hard and cold this time round. Of course, Pow is way too far outside the circle, and to travel past command post and towards the Bayfront area is going to take quite a little bit of effort. But there's a potential they have to come across Fluxo as well. WAG circling on around. They will find Corinthians. Corinthians with that high ground advantage. But obviously, this platform is not very safe because it exposes your head. And Nando just making the right move here, taking a slightly lower angle for the engagement with that AWM. But not taking it too risky of a fight as well. They want to survive. They've got the circle. They don't really need to get into that aggressive battle. And WAG uses that opening to get in deeper in towards the next safe zone. Straight in shooting range of CLG.
Yeah, CLG right now. I mean, this is a raid by WAG, and let's see if they can bring the house down. Explorer going in on the rooftop as Floki is being gunned down, but Clayton will be taken down as well. Now, two of the players, or one of the players from both sides. Explorer sniper over. All he wants to go back into his elimination spree, and this is what he's doing right now. Explorer is mostly the MVP of WAG, but he didn't put up so much of an elimination earlier. Now he is out for blood.
Dude, Explorer is insane. He dropped in there with an AWM, all right? He could have gotten straight down. I don't know what CLG was doing with that information. They were just watching him and they're like, hey, there's an opponent here. Without doing much, an Explorer literally took an up-close and personal shot, got the knock. Allen walked in, got the double elimination as well. I mean, WAG, where was this team all this while with this sort of an aggression? I love it. We look for the consistency. They're serving it up as well. But CLG still surviving. There's one more survivor. Job's not completed yet here for WAG, but they cannot get greedy just yet, Neptune.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, not too greedy, but again, they're living up to the name. They're walking against God, or amongst gods at this point. But Fluxo right now is biding their time. They're waiting for the perfect opportunity to get into next phase. But we've seen one of the team being eliminated as well. But Wask, though, last time we saw Wask, they are out onto the west outside of the blue. Now they are taking Bayfront and first into the next phase. WAG, though, back in play against Evo's Divine. Now, let's see who goes down in this battle.
Dude, I'm such a huge fan of Wask at this point of time, man. I mean, time and time, they are horrible with the gunfights. But look at the tactician play coming through from them time and time again to find these final circles. Even the big teams are struggling to get to where Wasp is when it comes to the positioning, and they just do it so easily all the time. They just cannot sustain those gunfights, which I hope to see them improve before we get into next year. I mean, but if because they can pull out some sort of miracle and improve it by next week, I would be all in for it.
I mean, if they're playing through tactics overall to get those final circles, then they might be able to play through tactics as well to get all those points by next week. Because again, whoever it is that's planning it out, whether it's a teammate or the coach or the analyst, it's just doing a great job. It's up to them to put in so much of an effort to get elimination. But it's just a basic. From the beginning, you get a pace of how the other teams are approaching each phase of the circle, and then that's where you put in all those tactical approach to get elimination from afar.
Now what's Corinthians doing? Corinthians, calm down. Calm down, Corinthians. You're ruining what? Omala gets knocked down onto the ground. Leonimo traded out by Hack. Big Boss has got the grenade launcher in here. Can he get the job down? Bahia! Corinthians! Why did you have to do that? I was just talking about them. Oh well.
Well, it is what it is right now. At least Wasp managed to get a good foothold on this phase of the circle. But one Team Falcons this time around is trying to gatekeep Fluxo, but they got the board of staying into that compound, step outside, and that might cost them a few more. Xmore has sight of one of the players of 6 Karma, but no hits just yet. Finally, a hit onto Bad, and he is hit bad with only half health.
Oh, Fluxo to the opposite side, all thanks to the launch pad. But it's now Bigatron Delta. Can they shut down yet another Titan here, just like what they did up against Falcons time and time again in the team finals? MT7 with the AWM, can't find the angle, just hit. What's that X-Boy? That's the big one! But X-Boy actually breaks his own ankles by falling off of the roof. MT7 will claim his life. 6 Karma out of the equation already, and Fluxo doing so much damage. They won the Booyah this time.
And they want to Booyah. Let's see if they can grab it. A lot of teams already in this area. Not only is Bigatron Delta that they are challenging, but also Corinthians, who is on the rooftop. On the other side of the map is, or on this compound, is Evo's Divine. And Nems right now managed to bring down one. Kocha goes down as well. And Corinthians just breaking the party from the outside.
Corinthians out of nowhere, showing us exactly what they can do. Do they want to claim their very first Booyah in here? In order to do that, they needed Omala, they needed a Hack, but at least they still have Nando X. What can this man do? Falcons are still alive and kicking as well. WAD still in the game, but of course with very few players out there, this is going to be tough for them to secure. But Falcons on the other hand can smile year to year. They need to pick up on fire, but as I speak about that AMAC, Evo's Divine ruining the plans of the Falcons.
Yeah, only Peter remains, and let's see what miracle St. Peter will bring into this fight. Survivability might be a chance for them, but not only that, we also have one player from WAG waiting. NT7 though, the clutch race on a sniper, up close and personal, being hit, but a blue wall managed to save him for a moment. This is not a full squad battle. This might go in for a 1v1v1, but now Corinthians has a good chance to take over the crossover on the other side, and wait how it ends up on a 3-way battle.
Can we see a miracle here from MT7 once again before he goes down? One more point, perhaps. Yes, he does. What a shot! MT7, the god! 10 eliminations so far. He set a personal record by any standards out there. 11th elimination. MT7, can you get the 12th as well? Single-handedly carrying Fluxo. Can he get it? Up against Bahia X as well as Nando. Bahia flies on in. They've got the electrotherapy working as well. MT7, a little bit of lag on my screen, it doesn't matter. MT7 in a 1v2, still hanging on, up against all these players, but Nando X puts him down on the ground. Harassment line not gonna work, and Corinthians secures their first Booyah of their run here at the Global Finals.
Corinthians are just going back and putting one on that Booyah board, and that is what we love to see. What we love to see, MT7 as well, just spray it out with that sniper. I know it's difficult to hear that or to visualize that, but he did spray it out on a snipe.
Bro, every single elimination from Fluxo came through from MT7. This guy is not about empty promises. This guy is all out beauty. This is what Free Fire is all about. And I am a fan.
All right, we're going to go in on to this battle. We know it's Corinthians already winning this game. Let's head over to the interview and hear what they have to say after this match.
They're just making us watch this one all the way.
Hoje, com certeza, é um dia pra gente nunca mais esquecer. Segundo buia brasileiro por aqui, nas mãos do Timão. Timão entrou pra jogo, garantiu aí seu buia e foi uma final muito disputada. A gente tá aqui com o CPT, o Nando, e a Yusu vai começar as perguntas. Please, go ahead.
Thank you, Carol. So, first of all, congratulations, Corinthians. You guys did a very great job, and what a game for 2 days. Then, you guys just had a very intensified combat with Fluso. So, do you think, like, you can have a chance for yourself to go into the grand finals this time?
Tudo bem, ela primeiramente parabenizou vocês por essa última partida, parabenizou vocês por estarem aqui também no Mundial, e ela falou que nessa última partida vocês tiveram um combate muito acirrado contra o Fluxo. Ela tá perguntando se vocês acham que tem chances de chegar até a final com esse mesmo jogo.
Então, eu acredito que a gente consegue sim chegar até a final. A gente está tendo alguns problemas por conta do nosso estilo de jogo, que a gente está tendo que estudar mais o tailandês, como é a nossa primeira vez, né, jogando contra eles. Então, eu acho que é mais questão de tempo para a gente se adaptar. E acredito que esse buia mostrou que a gente também não caindo cedo também, a gente consegue se levantar, né? A gente é um time resiliente e vai conseguir passar por cima disso.
We believe we can make to the finals, but we know that we are having problems because we are newcomers here.
Yeah.
So we are the first time. This is the first time we are competing against Thailand, Indonesia, and Asian teams. So yeah, we understand the real situation here, and we are trying to figure out new stuff to get our buyas and to go on in the competition. Okay, so my next question is about the other teams. I would like to know who is the biggest enemy for Corinthians right now. Você entendeu? Mas fez uma carinha que entendeu.
Pra fingir mesmo.
Quero saber qual é o maior inimigo do Corinthians aqui na competição.
Pra ser sincero, é nós mesmos, né? A gente tem que melhorar cada dia. Eu acredito que é só a gente.
Perfeito. He said they are their own enemies here. No one here are the enemies, so they are their own enemies.
I understand.
Do you believe that?
Yeah, I agree with that. Actually, you have to pass through yourself in order to grow. That's a very nice one. So, last questions for you. Since this is your first time fighting with the C region, do you think that they are making you guys feel overwhelmed?
Já que essa é a primeira vez que vocês estão jogando contra os times asiáticos, você acha que isso dá mais pressão para vocês e faz com que vocês se sintam mais pressionados, um pouco mais cansados, pensando mais?
Eu acredito que sim, na questão de pensar mais, né? Mas não que seja algo que a gente não consiga contornar, né? É apenas um problema que a gente vai ter que ir levando com o tempo e a gente vai conseguir encaixar nosso jogo, que é o que a gente pode mostrar agora.
Yes, probably, but they think like the biggest problem here are themselves, so they will get out of their heads and they will be on the game from now on and they will try to work hard as they can. Então vamos para os melhores momentos, porque é o segundo buia brasileiro aqui nas mãos do Corinthians.
Yes, and that is a very nice game for Corinthians, and they also have their booyah. Today games is really intense, right? No talent at all.
Yeah. Brazil?
Yeah, Brazil, very strong though. Again, congratulations, and now thank you guys for watching our interview.
Nice,
Let's
nice.
get back to the caster and see our analysis.
And there we have it. Just heard from Corinthians themselves. I mean, the biggest problem that they have, or the biggest enemies that they have, are themselves, which is true for most, if not all, the people. And that's what they need to go through before they think of beating the other teams. But the way they did it right now, it's very, very fruitful. We are looking at how I would say how unfortunate they were in the first few maps, but now they managed to catch up with all the points they need to put themselves on the board in the top 12.
I'm still mind blown that we just saw MT7 earn more points than the placement points that they got. And that is 9 points. MT7 single-handedly, okay, maybe with a little bit of assist here and there, but 11 eliminations, bro. That is just unreal. This guy is hands down the best sniper here at the Free Fire World Series Global Finals. No doubt whatsoever. nobody has been able to outshine what he has shown us thus far.
Yeah, I mean, even in the past, like, despite of say Moshi is one of the best sniper that we have in Southeast Asia, but not to that extent. Most of the time has help for the rest of Burim United, but for MT7, no help needed. I mean, it's not that he don't need any, or he's not asking for any help, but there's no help needed. He can bring it on by himself, and that is what he has to offer, probably as well, because there's a huge shoes to fill after Fluxo has changed in from Magic Squad to Fluxo and losing Yago.
I mean, 6 eliminations here from Nando X, but
Ooh,
bro,
I was hoping you get 5 because I can say Nando got 5 or Nando number 5.
Shut up, Neptune. Yeah, with the Cassie, Tatsuya here as well with the hack. And you know, it was just so beautiful watching Corinthians do their magic, but I cannot get over MT7 and his plays, bro. I can't. All of this is just being overshadowed by that monster who single-handedly just showed me one of the best runs I have ever seen on any Free Fire competition. I cannot get over it. I am sorry, Corinthians. Your first Booyah has been overshadowed by MT7.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the first time that happened. Remember how Bigatron Delta, the Giant Slayer, has overshadowed anyone who has been taking that Booyah. It's because they are taking down giants like Team Falcons, Burim United, and overall from Southeast Asia. But as we go into the key players, it is a chance for you, really, to
there you go.
relieve the moment. 11 elimination, 43-34 in damage. MT7, not empty at all.
No, not empty at all. Lucky number 11, 4334. You see those doubles coming through once again with those numbers. And Nando X gets a special mention once again at the very end. And yeah, bro, MT7 again, elimination leader. This is the record set here at the global finals by this man. I mean, that's a huge possibility they become the global champions. But even if they don't, they have literally made their name right here with this game through this man.
Yeah, definitely. And with that alone, I mean, even with just MT7's points, they might have taken the #1 spot already for the overall standing. I mean, it's just a huge point that MT7 has, and we've seen how well they played in that. They might not have gotten the Booyah, but the 9 points in placement is good enough for them. But they haven't beat WAG yet for today's standing. They are leading by 7, but Fluxo close behind.
I mean, to see WAG up here, so dominating, so consistent, is just mind-blowing, right? I mean, hands down, they were the best Vietnamese team to qualify for this stage from Southeast Asia. WAG outdid teams like RRQ, EVOS Divine, Bigatron Delta, Hua Esports, and even AG Global on the finals. And that's something nobody saw coming. But to make it through from C finals into global finals, and to maintain that consistency, to maintain that dominance, and with just one day of play, show up in the top 12 is, I don't even, today has just been the kind of day where I am just getting my mind blown all over the place, Neptune.
I mean, that's, I guess that's a good thing, though.
Yeah, it's great.
It's a good thing.
Yeah.
But as we look at the overall standings, yes, it is true. Fluxo managed to grab that #1 spot, leaving Twisted Mind behind between 5 points, and as well as Burim United below with 20 points after Twisted Mind. Bigatron Delta very close, reaching the first century point that they have, and Corinthians after the Booyah is now number 5. CLG has been pushed down, and the rest of the teams just making their way. WAG crossed over onto the left side of the map, and now we are we are very, very close to ending it with only 2 more maps to go.
One more game. If WAG scores somewhere in the region of 20 points, just one more game, they would be hands down the most improved team I have ever seen in my life. Like, oh yeah, hands down, right? Because at one point of time, nobody used to even give Vietnam a second look in the world of Free Fire. Nobody thought the region as a threat, but clearly today they have proven a very different story. And let's just see if or not they will be able to continue proving that, right? Because consistency has been a problem in the past. They have proven that it is not something that they have to deal with or be worried about back to back now. But I want to see them drag it on into the third game. But of course, we'll be back in a bit to catch up with you guys.
Sí, ¿vos de qué parte sos? No, no está cerca del mar.
Yo de aquí, de la ciudad.
Mira,
¿Tú de qué parte eres?
del norte.
Es una zona cerca de un día, pero...
And there we have it, coming from Samsung. I mean, they had to circle it to find what they have, but for the rest of the team, they don't have to circle anything. They are finding all the points that they are getting at this point. Fluxo, again, being the number one after just 4 matches, as well as how it is with MT7's aggression and pop-off. If that continues on, MT7, this is a call out to you. Blow AJ's mind even more.
Nah, I don't think every day is Christmas. I don't think Santa Claus visits your house twice. I think MT7 is gonna disappoint me if I expect more from him. I'll just keep that in my memory bank for the rest of my life. I am not gonna ask for more. MT7 has already delivered, because what he did, Neptune, was close to impossible to do. Okay, as a snipe, it was just no way in hell anybody pulls that off again. This was a momentous moment throughout the whole of the Free Fire journey that we've had throughout any of the global finals, any of the Free Fire World Series, and I think we all got to savor that one, man. I don't think we get a repeat. It's not the medkit gameplay that we're gonna see over and over again.
Tudo certo por aqui, Peusada e Raja. Bora decolar, vamos para a nossa próxima, penúltima queda em Nova Terra, Yosu.
Yes, in our next game, the heat is getting higher and higher, and just like usual, I'm so excited for every result in every game. But now, let's continue with us to watch our next game. Let's go!
E os jogadores já estão posicionados, então aguenta coração, pega a sua pipoca, porque decolagem foi autorizada!
Yep. And we now enter the future of Free Fire. Nextera, Matt, it is so far a lot of surprises, a lot of mind-blowing moments has been shown by the teams and by the players. Let's see how it will end up right now. The flight is coming from east to west, but Intellect Center might be the intellectual choice by two teams. Let's see who's going to blow their brains out in this gunfight.
Maybe MT7 again. But of course, it's all dependent on whether or not he can find an AWM or the M82B so that he can wreak havoc once again. I mean, I am going to allow that gameplay of his to live rent-free in my head for a long time. But I wouldn't mind if he gives me another clip to remember. Flame God, sprayed down by Cougar. Ooh, this is a revenge here from Attack All Around, because Evo's Divine did kind of foil their plans not once but twice today.
Yeah, let's see. I mean, Attack All Around got one elimination, but they have a good position to be able to beat down a few more on the other side. 6 Karma managed to bring down one of the players, and here comes Bara, but turnaround doesn't work for them. 2 down already for Evo Divine.
Right there, looking for the third one. Hasn't fully spotted out that guy just yet. Wask lost 2 players earlier on as well. It's not looking too good for that team to find that final circle, but of course, it is not over till it's truly over. Oh my lord, as I was speaking about them, it might just be over. Domin goes down. Who's the final player on the side of Wasp? We will have to wait and see. Poon God right above A-Bags. X-Ball, holy mama! WAG, you just had to do it.
I mean, Wask has been somewhat improving, but the other teams, other players also improving overall, and they're hungry for elimination. The same goes for Attack All Around. They're hungry to beat down Evo's Divine. Only 2 players are remaining, and they know the plan out here for Evo's Divine. Go in for the vending machine, and that is what they did. So what does Evo's Divine do? Just fly away and try to find another machine.
Ray catches up with A-Bags. Montevilla finding bad with a VSK headshot, and a quick elimination coming through as well. But Nico brings the man right back in. Very smart play. Has enough money to do that. No doubt finding Nico. And 6 Karma in a little bit of a world of pain. And finally, Fluxo deciding to go in here for the flush, led by Butsin as well as Bobs. MT7 and Geo not too far behind them. Question is, what is MT7 carrying? The XM8. Okay, it's not going to be very dangerous from them.
I mean, he have a lot of choice. Earlier, he was carrying a Thompson, and then he switched into XM8 and goes back. And let's see if they can go in for a better fight right now. FGL action just to push out a Bigatron Delta, and there's nowhere else to run but up, so they used that flunch pad to get away, and they did cross over onto the other side, but into the hands of 6 Karma, who I would say is not doing good because of all the elimination against them earlier.
Yeah, 6 Karma. CLG will be the distraction here. But look at this, man. CLG stopping by to shut down Bigatron Delta instead, catching them off guard. Riptide Rhythm takes down all of their defenses. So the crossover loses 2 players for the side of Bigatron Delta. And 6 Karma actually gets away from Hot Soup here as CLG finds another prey to torture.
Let's see. I mean, Joker goes in dark right now for a takedown, followed up by FAQ. Now, Kyung, the only one remaining for Bigatron Delta. Oh, there's another one on the other side, though. And Kyung will be hit down. Only a few HP. And BTR will be eliminated on 11.
2 games back-to-back. Bigatron Delta bite the dust early. That's not good for business at all, but that's exactly how the cookie crumbles here at the Global Finals. Puga finding Ray. The fight between Attack All Around and Evo's Divide continues.
Yeah, it continues, and if it ends, it might be too long before they get a few more eliminations. Hopefully, they don't take that much time. But on the other side, the CLG is now being battled by Fluxo, and Bobs is going in for the snipe as well as Butson. But MT7 a little bit too far from this engagement, which he needs really, especially as a sniper. But we'll have to find out if the 3 players on the rush can bring down the 3 from CLG.
Then finds yet another CLG. Gets the revival and the player flies away from this compound, which means the team will not get wiped out just yet, unless, of course, the revived player gets caught out by someone else. We'll have to wait and see whether or not luck is on the side of CLG. They leave one player back to hold the fort, or at least be the distraction, whilst the rest of them evacuate the area. So CLG playing this very tactically, very smart, very defensive. So they will continue to survive for a bit.
Yeah, I mean, FAQ right now just hanging back, just getting some information. If in case Fluxo leaves, at least the rest of CLG will have a way out. Whether it is towards them or towards the other side, that is what CLG is doing. Fluxo right now spotted FAQ and just went in for a barrage. Still managed to go in out the window into the balcony. And let's see if Fluxo will go in for the chase. Man, no more distraction of the blue. They have just to wait for where the next phase is.
FAQ even got a knock on the Butchers in. So, well, the man played his role. He was the distraction, and he bought so much of time for the squad. So CLG is pretty much right back in the game with 4 players, all thanks to him.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunate for them, though, they are split up, 2 of which is still in Intellect Center, and then 2 are still in there very close to Pain Gaming. So where they meet up, where they converge is the question, and how will they do it is another. Now, as we can see, a lot of teams are still spread out, especially for Corinthians, who's on the far side on the next phase. So let's see what rotation they will be taking. For Pain Gaming, though, they are just in Museum and have a good spot to bring down E1 Sport, as well as a good side on Fluxo.
Yeah, Pain spots out Fluxo. Not good for Fluxo. E1 might just be caught in between Fluxo and Pain Gaming. This is all about who decides to take the first shot. And obviously Fluxo not in the greatest of position because they have to cross over quite a bit of open grounds to get into a better defensive spot. This is all going to be dependent on where this next circle is, unless, of course, Fluxo is blessed with a closer circle to them, and they don't really need to travel around. 6K loses Pocho. Nico goes down as well as Pain Gaming delivers a hell of a fight to them, instantly taking down 2 of their players. Now, Bad is going to be spotted out by Gus as well. Shortly, if he does peek on out. AC 80 in the hands of Bad. And he's quite a good player, although his name is Bad. So really,
Hope
he's
he
the best
doesn't.
player for the team.
Yeah, he's the best player. I mean, hopefully he has good karma at this point, despite him being bad. But we have a Fluxo. But at the end of the day, you've been filled with dad jokes overall.
Yeah.
But that's how it is. I'm just excited casting with you again. But as we look back, we have CLG back. Joker! Despite the damage of the fall, still managed to get away because of a glue wall. But, well, he survived. Abaya is in here, I guess, with Corinthians. This is something that they need to work with, playing outside of blue and not stepping out into the open, just to make sure that they are playing it safe. But they are unknowingly chasing only one player from CLG. They are being too cautious, though, and not taking advantage or not being too cheeky to go and bring down Joker.
Okay, I thought they were going to miss him. The Joker gets caught out. CLG loses yet another player. Potavia finding Pocho as well once again. And Six Karma really being tortured out there, being forced to revive player after player after player. CLG left with a single player on their side. Six Karma left with 2. Although I find it hard to believe that little scoreboard. It has tricked me one too many times.
But one thing is for sure though, Pain Gaming is doing well after 2 bad games. Imagine 2 matches of 0 points overall, not even elimination, and this is what they are aiming for, to get a few of elimination as well as survive a little bit longer for those placement, and that can recover. I mean, that can cover the loss that they have for the 2 matches. Evo's Divine though, on the other hand, they have 2 elimination already, had a good spot to see and gatekeep attack all around, but they also need to move out because in 10 seconds the blue will be closing in. Retire Rhythm taking down the glue wall, but Poon God managed to rush in onto one side, but a 1v3 might happen in a bit.
I mean, look at the movements from attack all around. You guys just gotta love this. VSK finds one connection though out of A-back. And here comes the flush, the flank coming around by Ray, and he gets sprayed down by Poon God instead. Jump God does get taken down by Gus. Pain getting involved in this fight as well. Motovia gets a knock onto Aim God. Attack all around being helped out by Pain from afar.
Only A-backs remain, and attack all around is going to win it, and there you have it. Evo's Divine eliminated. Good tactical approach, as well as the ninja moves that we've seen from attack all around as they get closer to Evo's Divine. That is something else.
Dude, they prayed hard last night, man, because God was answering their prayers. Pain Gaming out of nowhere, just chipping in all of the damage. I mean, helping them take out 2 players from the side of Evo's Divine. Technically speaking, they were outnumbered as Evo's Divine came in for the flank, but Evo's clearly didn't see Pain Gaming, and those were just open shots. Although Pain got those knocks, it was attack all around that took away the points with the eliminations, stealing it away because they were a little bit closer to the players. But of course, as they continue to find the circle, attack all around will eventually have to get into a skirmish up against Pain Gaming.
Yeah, Pain Gaming has sights on them, attack all around, managed to hide out into one compound. But on the other side, if I'm not mistaken, Falcons also taking pot shots on them. So attack all around might be attacked all around in a few, especially with the blue will be closing. But the question is, well, where will be the next phase of the circle? Fluxo so high up north, very close to the next one, but E1 Sports are the one more in a more comfortable position.
Ooh, grenade! What a connection by Gus! Perfection with the lob! Gets the knock, but of course no elimination. They gotta pick that man right back up. Where's the follow-up, Gus? Gus is out of nades. Gus like, that's the only one I had, Mustachio. All right? It's my highlight reel.
Well, TLG finally being taken down by Six Karma, and with that given, Six Karma will be hunted. Six will be spotted as well with the binoculars, and not quite sure who let go of that. But WAG aggression is lost, and they are losing this fight as well. Exploring Krillin being taken down. Silence goes down as well. Only one remains, and that has been brought to you by Pain Gaming.
They kind of fall short with that rotation, kind of scrambled all the way through, and Pain Gaming, they've got the best position on top of this museum, and with this high ground, they're just raining down the pain on everyone, pun intended.
Gaming just blocked themselves in. E1 Esports cannot get in, but through the window they try to pop a few of those nades, but the movement of Pain Gaming just managed to pull out. Gus being taken out with HP close to 0, but managed to recover as well. Motovia just putting so much of effort to bring down attack all around, but not so much of elimination being done. VSK to bring down Poon God, and Fluxo moves in onto one side, not spotting Pain Gaming from above.
Motovia desperately trying to show me that he can match up against MT7. You cannot match up against MT7. Nobody can. Man gets traded out instantaneously by Limit. Now E1 seems to have overstayed their welcome here. Fluxo trying to flush him out from the back. A couple of grenades could have missed its mark. And Fluxo now distracted by a team trying to shut them down from the back. It's attack all around.
Yeah, Attack Around helped Fluxo to move in now. Fluxo is rushing in against Attack All Around. There's a little bit of pause happening at this point. Let's see who will be moved right now. The song is I'm Not Moving. Now, I guess there's a lot more that will be happening afterwards. So we are just waiting for the game to continue.
Wait, the game's continuing though. What?
Yeah.
There you go. There you
Yes,
go.
it
There
has.
you go. Everybody's panicking. Grenade.
Ah, what a save by Limit from afar, but knocked down as well. Elimination coming on through. Attack all around, just laying. And Falcons, a barrage of nades up against E1. But that does not put them down for the count just yet. Moon God with the Drogon will be able to find yet another Flux, so truly flushed out. Man does not stand a chance. All shut down by Attack all around. They initially held them and then slapped them.
And that's one thing, I mean, at this point of competition, you don't go and help people out. And E1 Esports also being helped back to the lobby, but managed to be brought back up. Team Falcons right now, only 4 elimination, but they are slowing down for a good reason. They want to get a good position before taking down the rest of the teams. So far, 6 Karma though. The lucky survivor, Dela XS, is still alive.
Yeah, okay, the man just needs to hope he's got enough medkits because it's going to come down to that. Limit now on the roof, trying to look for a little bit of angle, but it's soon going to come to a point where he'll have to patch himself up. Medkit after medkit after medkit. Peter with the nade is going to go wide. Dela X down on the ground. Why did he get off the roof? And now this man is going to be tortured by the rest of them. Limit finding absolutely no one. And once again, it's going to be all about Southeast Asia. With Attack all around having the highest potential win rate here with a 57%.
Now let's see what they can do right now. Team Falcons, one more, no elimination, on fire, on the move against Attack all around. Jump God, can't let jump that high. And here comes a backstab coming from on fire. And Karoro will be taken down the first to be knocked down, eliminated, but also a trade off onto Jump God. 3v3, and the blue is closing in. The only question is, who will survive longer? Team Falcons already down. Attack all around. Let's grab the booyah.
Attack all around with their first booyah of this competition. At the global finals here, they have not been showing up strong, but finally with this booyah should be able to sneak into the top 12. And they've been trying all day to do that.
I mean, all day indeed. This time it is fruitful and Attack all around. I mean, they didn't show up empty-handed from the previous matches, but it's not so much that they can just head up as the as the team to be on top 3 by the end of the day. So I guess with that booyah, they can put themselves up in the daily standings, and we'll just have to see who will be interviewed in a bit. Especially as Attack All Around has or might have a lot to say after a few days or a few games of not working well. So let's bring it over to the interview.
Buiazão tailandês por aqui. A gente já trouxe aqui o Kuga, que é o jogador da AAA. Eles que conseguiram buia, deu uma demorada, mas tudo certo. Okay, I know Kuga got some moves here, right? Please, Yusu, invite him to dance. Dancinha de comemoração do cara. Olha só, lançando aqui o funkzão. Qual foi? Please, Yusu.
สนุกไหมใช่ดี Okay, so first of all, congratulations, AAA and Kuga. Do you feel any pressure or more pressure since the last time you did go to the grand finals, right? But now, do you feel any difference or no?
รู้สึกเหมือนความกดดันไหมแบบเทียบกับรอบก่อนๆที่เคยแข่งมา
ไม่รู้สึกครับตอนนี้ก็ปลดปล่อยแล้ว
I don't feel anything because now I feel like really relief after getting the first booyah.
Ok, good. Aí o Su perguntou pra ele se eles se sentem impressionados de algum jeito, e ele falou que agora não mais, porque eles conseguiram o primeiro booyah deles aqui. Okay, so watching, we were in your first week here in Brazil, we saw that on TikTok lives you were playing against Brazil. So I want to know if that helped them to do to be here in the first day, their debut day.
เขาบอกว่าเขาเห็นเราเล่น TikTok เล่นกับแข่งกับบราซิลแล้วก็แบบเป็นไงมันช่วยให้เราเล่นดีขึ้นไหม
ก็ตึงมือดีครับฝั่งเขายิงคมมากวัดกัน
It's quite tense moment because the Brazilian team are quite aggressive and very good.
Oh, would that help them to play here today?
ช่วยครับ
Really help, yes.
Ok. Durante a semana a gente acompanhou eles jogando em lives no TikTok, né? Eles estavam jogando um 4x4 contra os brasileiros e eu perguntei exatamente se isso ajudou eles aqui no dia de estreia deles e ele falou que sim, isso ajudou, mas que também o estilo brasileiro é muito agressivo. Isso explica o fato deles terem demorado um pouquinho para dar o buia deles aqui.
Kuga, besides your first buya here that makes you feel happy, is there anything here in Rio makes you feel joyful or you really like here?
เพราะว่าเราเพิ่งได้บูย่ามามันทำให้เราอารมณ์ดีแล้วแต่ว่าทีเนี้ยมีอะไรในเมืองนี้ไหมที่แบบทำให้เรารู้สึกแฮปปี้ที่อยู่ที่นี่
ก็รู้สึกเจออะไรใหม่ๆครับอากาศแล้วก็ที่อยู่สาวๆก็ได้ครับ
Yeah, it's like I got to see new experience being here. Like the weather is nice, the food is okay, and especially Brazilian girls. Oh, again.
Ok, that was unexpected. Tá bom, aí o Su perguntou pra ele como é que ele tem se sentido aqui nesses primeiros dias, aqui no Rio de Janeiro, aqui no Brasil. E ele falou assim que tem gostado bastante, o clima é bem agradável, mas ele gostou bastante das mulheres brasileiras. Tô de olho nesses gringos aqui. First to finish, I would like to know, based on what we have watched yesterday, Thailand teams, they did really good. So, Twisted Minds and also Buriram. And I would like to know if he, as a Thailand team as well, if he feels pressure to be good today as well.
เนื่องจากเมื่อวานทีมบุรีรัมย์กับทีมทวิตเต็ดทำไว้ดีมากรู้สึกว่ามันทำให้เรากดดันไหมที่แบบวันนี้เราเหมือนต้องดีอย่างเขา
ไม่ครับก็ชิวๆครับไปเรื่อยๆ
ชิวๆYeah, not at all. Just like be chill and like play as we got from the coach.
Ok. Perguntei pra ele, baseado no que a gente assistiu ontem, né? Os times tailandeses foram muito bem, Twisted Minds, Buriram. E se eles, por serem um time tailandês também, se eles sentiram pressão pra jogarem hoje. E ele falou que não sentiu nada, que tá tudo bem, só precisava acertar o momento certo de conseguir o buia deles por aqui. Minha família, bora de melhores momentos, porque a Buriram um time tailandês, conseguiu também mais um buia no dia de hoje. Highlights?
Yes, and thank you so much and congratulations, Kuga. And now say goodbye to the audience and we will go back to our caster. Show me your nails.
Dance? Your moves?
No, show me your nails. Is it got a black nails? Yep, we got black nails. Thank you so much and let's head back to the casters.
Just show the woman your nails, man. I mean, how many times does she gotta ask? But 33 points from attack all around still cannot beat the record set by WAG. But either way, the records are mostly being set by the Southeast Asian teams, except that one MT7 record.
I mean, that record is hard to beat, definitely. I mean, 33 points, that has been done by the other teams. But what MT7 has done is tough to beat despite of how they are not grabbing booyahs, but at least they are still proving that they can bring themselves or steady themselves in the #1 spot. Now, let's see on how it ended up with some of the matches, especially with attack all around. They maintain their position overall, even against Team Falcons. And I guess the most well thought of is that second floor or rooftop gameplay that has been brought in, because more of a less chance for them to be hit and more chance for them to survive because of the blue.
You know what's insane, Neptune? The fact that Twisted Minds and Buriram are still in the top 3, which means, and there's only one team in Group B that has overtaken them, that's Fluxo. And that being said, they're not too far away from Twisted Minds. They're just 17 points ahead. Every other team from Group B is still under Buriram as well as Twisted Minds. But of course, we'll continue with the conversation a little bit. Let's highlight Mr. Limit here. 7 eliminations. And this is the man that finally took Motovia off of the roof at Museum, because Motovia was just doing too much of damage on all of the other teams. But Motovia just missed the shot onto Limit. He found one connection, but to the chest and not the head. Limit got that information and he thought, okay, this is the threat I need to eliminate. And he did exactly that, taking Motovia out and instantly putting attack all around in the spot for the booyah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really good for a Limit X7 who grabbed 7 elimination. Not only that, Cougar did the same. And out of this too, I mean, 14 plus the 4 that Poon God has, as well as a Jump God with 3 points. If I'm mistaken, if my math is mathing right, that is 21 elimination. Thus, you were right. I mean, 33 total points plus the Booyah. And it's just really, really good to see Attack All Around showing up this time, despite of them not getting any placement point from the previous match, on only 6 on the elimination point. But that has been brought in because of Limit with so much of damage that he had put in. And you did mention, I mean, how he dealt with Motovia earlier.
I'm sure Cougar had a bittersweet moment in that final battle sequence there, because Cougar and Kororo actually swapped squads. Kororo used to play for Attack All Around, Cougar used to play for Falcons, and they both took each other on in that final battle sequence. But obviously, you know, it seems like things haven't really changed at all for both of these teams. Of course, the only change is Falcons actually has got 2 championships, but you know, who's counting?
Who's counting? But the thing is, like, how Falcons is playing right now, it doesn't look like they will be. Let me take that back. They are in the top 3, despite of not getting any Booyah. So I guess Team Falcons still in a good run, part of top 5, and 4 of which has the Booyah already. Corinthians, though, despite of getting the Booyah, has not performed that well in the other matches, so they need to put in double the effort.
I'm actually overall disappointed with LATAM and Brazil today, because I expected it to be an all-out Brazilian showdown day. I mean, they've got all of their teams in there. They kind of know the rotation and the capabilities of the rest of these teams. But, you know, even that being said, I think I can't take it too hard on them, because these Southeast Asian teams just turned the heat up all of a sudden. And, you know, it's just really hard to keep up with those numbers. I mean, WAG, of all teams, they're still dominating the #1 spot. Obviously, you know, others are catching up slowly but surely. But to see WAG at the top, to see them hit the 34, to see Attack All Around hit the 33, that's a little difficult to keep up with.
Yeah, I mean, it's something WAG grabbed that top 3 40% of the time just for today. So that's something that really WAG has put in. Another team that has done that is Team Falcon. So we're going to go and see and find out more what will be the next map in this game, because we're only up to 1 more game.
And of course, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, what I expected to be a Brazilian as well as Latin day is turning out to be a Southeast Asian day. Come on, we've had too much of that already yesterday. And if we have it today, tomorrow, you know we're going to have more of that, because we're going to have 4 Thai teams in the mix playing it out. WAG is going to be there as well. So everybody's going to be rushing in here for the points. But of course, I want to see if or not Fluxo can also end the day with a Booyah. We are on standby to see the map selected, to see exactly who's going to be blessed with this map. And obviously, you've got the numbers here, Neptune. Fluxo, I believe they want to avoid Purgatory.
Yeah, I mean, they're not really playing that well in Purgatory from yesterday, even up until today. So if that is the case, I mean, they're hoping not to get that Purgatory map for today. So let's head over to Map Selector and see where are we going for round number 6.
Exatamente, Peu e Raj. Agora vamos ver o sorteio do nosso último, porém não menos importante mapa dessa tarde maravilhosa, Yansu.
And it's almost the end of our game today, but there's one more game. And you guys know, it's time to show you guys the random map. Let's go!
Brings the chaos once again. I guess we just saw attack all around, hit the beautiful 33, but maybe somebody is looking to outdo them this time around.
Yeah, we'll have to find out. I mean, yesterday it is Twisted Mind who grabbed that booyah, but Twisted Mind will not be playing, so there's a huge chance that Attack All Around will be able to do that, or it might be Team Falcons because they did play second on that previous Next Terra. So that would depend on a lot of factors, a lot of variables, if they will be doing the same thing. But I'm pretty sure a lot of teams will not be doing the same mistake, as well as, you know how it is with Battle Royale, the dynamics of the circle going in, there's not so much that they can expect to be the same.
I want to know what that conversation was about the tummy and a bullet whizzing past the tummy when he sucked it in. These boys know how to have a little bit of fun. Of course, it is not so fun if you are Wask or 6 Karma. And of course, it's a little bit worse if you're Wask because you've played 2 days and you're still pretty much at the bottom of the leaderboard. And you have got 6 Karma who are almost overtaking your spot. And all they need is just 5 more points. So it's going to be a little tough to beat. And obviously, the best ones on this map attack all around with a total of 33 points and a single booyah to their name. Twisted Minds yesterday played it as well. Like you pointed out, they secured a booyah for themselves. Not a lot of stats for us to go on about, so we can't really say this is going to be for sure the next booyah takers. Like you said, Neptune, anything could happen.
Yeah, let's see if they will be able to repeat any what's happening right here. But we're just waiting for the game to start. We're going to bring it over to Camilota as well as Yunsul for the game to begin.
Tudo certo, ansiedade lá em cima para vermos quem será que vai conseguir conquistar esse último buia do nosso dia, Yonsu.
And yes, our last game is here, and you guys already see the map, right? But I have a feeling my team, Vietnam team, will have a booyah again. I'm so excited for that. Let's go, everybody!
Bora, Brasil! Porque os jogadores já estão posicionados, então aguenta coração, pega essa pipoca, porque a decolagem foi autorizada!
Well, I guess there's no going next. We just hit a rewind on this map. This is Next Terra once again. The only question is, will Attack All Around bring in the same or probably close to the same points that they have earlier? That we have to see. But as you can see right now, the flight path is coming in from the south, from Deca Square, going into Intellect Center, and the same contender onto that area is back.
And Wasp up against 6 Karma as well. This is just gonna be an absolute repeat. Hopefully the circle does not repeat itself as well in terms of the sequence. Corinthians in close proximity up against Falcons, and there's a huge probability they quickly back away. Is what you can see on your screen right now. MT7 down on the ground. This time round, Biggitron Delta not wasting time at all. Koja gonna get tagged up. Powerful in the hands of Bobs. P90 in the hands of Koja though, as he does take MT7 out of the equation. Buchitin will pick Gio up instantaneously, but met by Nam. Buchitin still wins that with the MP40.
MP40 gameplay up close and personal, not even giving that chance to blink, but Bigatron Delta, after bringing down 2 of the players from Fluxo, is being cleaned out. At 1v2 situation, which team will be knocked down? It is left to Bobs, and Bobs managed to survive. A run away onto the edge, but the pickup will be done on BDR.
Oh, good play by Bobs here. Quickly picking up GU. It's a 2v2. Koja and Kyung are very low. So that means the players on the side of Fluxo can still turn things around. Bobs does not have a medkit on him. Drags come on through. GU down on the ground. Bobs has got 200 HP on him. Koja eliminated. It's now a 1v1 between these two boys. And GU wants to get back up on his feet. Bobs makes it a 2v1.
2v1, and Koja will be running, heading into the vending machine. I'm quite sure if he has Free Fire coins, be able to buy out, but there are a few laying on the ground. 500 already in hand, and double bag for that vending machine. So I guess that will be a good plan for Fluxo to do as well, but a little bit too late though, bringing Nems back. But the question is, will Nems go back in the same area, just far away from it?
I think Nems is going to drop right back in here. They want to finish things off up against Fluxo. They clearly know who they're fighting up against. Pain Gaming up against 6 Karma. Wask in the vicinity as well. WAG's Allen calling for backup. Oh, this is a 4-way fight I never thought I would see so early.
Yeah, 4-way fight indeed, but not so much of engagement, more of positioning being done. And 6 Karma is now taking high ground. Peter being hit, and pain has been felt. Recovery is being done on the other side. Corinthian is being brought down as well by Team Falcons, and WAG also putting in so much of points right now, and Motivia has been picked up. Now, a lot of engagement. There's no chance that one will be surviving right here without any damage.
And Motivia once again playing the top of this museum roof. And he brought on so much of damage earlier on in the previous game. Wask from afar, Riptide Rhythm finding the connection onto WAG's blue wall. And they're just trying to sneakily steal away a couple of points from afar. And finally realizing that they're not going to be able to do that from such a distance, they drop by Museum to check out what this is all about.
I mean, they might not have heard Pain Gaming and the 6 Karma fighting out, or they're just taking advantage of it. Let's see who will survive. Domin managed to take down Nico, and on the other side, we have Corinthians being brought down after battle of Team Falcons. Now, Noda, XM8 in hand, just finding a good opening, but Guz managed to take down Wask already, and X4 out in the open. Not quite sure what he's doing right there. Hopefully WAG have good position, because they don't want to be stuck in the middle of this 4-way battle.
And WAG kind of greedy because they saw Wask out in the open and they were trying their best to take them down. Big Wask buys Domin back, and Nano X brings back the other 2 players from the side of Corinthians. We are down on the ground. Krillin shot from afar. My God, that AC-80 hits hard.
Instantaneously, Motivea has been brought back, and Pain's not waiting for any chance that they can be eliminated at this point. So Pain, 7 eliminations already in the first 5 minutes, and they need to move in. WAG is already flying in because of recovery. X-Bor, good position though, and 2 elimination, but he might be stuck later on once he drops.
And X-Bor try to stop them, or at least slow them down. He has got clear line of sight. Peter XL tagged up. X-Bor in a lot of trouble now. Position given away already. And they start to fire back. Oh, Bada down on the ground. Woo! Hey, beautiful shots coming through from X-Bor. Gets the knock. Riptide Rhythm. Connection comes on through. Noda still up. Gus right in front. X-Bor trying to do it all on his own. And here comes Cyrus for the backup.
Surprisingly, he's just doing it on his own, and it's about time that the rest of the teams, WAG, goes in for backup, but it's a little bit too late though, as Pain Gaming managed to fly away, fly high like a butterfly at this point, and they will live with the 7 elimination in hand, not taken out just yet. But on the other side, we have a fight of CLG, as well as I totally missed what team that was, but Wask and Corinthians in a fight after Corinthians was taken down by Falcons earlier.
Not bad at all for Wask. 4 eliminations strong now. Full team has been through a revival flight already, but up against Corinthians to take down their top player Omala is a great big deal, especially if you're Wask. Fluxo now from up top. 2 players already on the revive flight, which is in as well as MT7, their star players. Scouting out hack from Corinthians, and what a shot once again. MT7 and VSK hits hard.
Yeah, I mean, MT7 is just trying to impress you once again. But Wask, at this point, I mean, pretty impressive. Earlier, we've seen them try to make an effort to get all those knockdowns, but it's just conversion of elimination that is missing. This time, they have 4 already, and hopefully they can still put in the positioning gameplay that they have done so well. And let's add in a little bit of survivability towards the final circle.
WAG up against Corinthians now, trying to gatekeep them. E1 on the other hand will find CLG. Shogun shot from Iguin. No full connections coming on through just yet. Joker shows up a little bit too much. And Flocky as well gets tagged up. And the rest of them just maintaining the pressure from that left-hand side. And the Riptide Rhythm, I don't even know who shot that one at them.
Yeah, I mean, it's coming from the outside, probably a third party who's trying to disrupt this engagement. Vitten right now will be taken down. We still have another Vitten though, but Egwin will also be taken out. E1 Sport with 8 elimination. They cleared out the area and CLG is out.
Great play by E1, elimination strong now. And the top of the leaderboard with the points, all thanks to the elims. CLG didn't see that one coming, and it was that distraction for sure from the outside. That Riptide Rhythm just forced them to scramble down towards that bottom floor, and E1 just met them in a mad rush with all of those wild sprays.
I mean, not so much will be happening at this point. They have to wait for the third phase of the circle to show up. Launchpad has been pulled out already. Now onto the other side. This is champions against champions. Fluxo going against Team Falcons on the bridge gameplay. The only question is how will they get out of this if in case the blue closes in.
So up against Falcons. Oh my god, what a fight we've got on our hands. MT7 has got the M82B. Look at this guy, man. He's switching between the VSK and the M82B. Shot after shot after shot. The best sniper out here on the global finals. MT7 does it once again. Can he take one more out of the equation? He needs literally one more shot, and Falcons don't want any part of this. They are sick and tired of this sharpshooter.
And there you go, flight away into the hands of E1 Esports or E1 Sports, and Peter will be knocked down, finished off by Gio. But on the side, X4, so there's a lot of bullets flying in from different teams. The only question is who will grab most of the advantage. Team Falcons managed to get a ridge to hide out in a way of Fluxo that leaves Fluxo in the target or as the target of the other teams, and that specifically is WAG.
WAG almost got eliminated earlier, back with a bang, and it looks like they've looted up enough to have one good solid fight in the final sequence. So they have to be patient, they cannot get too cheeky, but obviously so many of their players having the long-range weapons, Woodpeckers especially, they are going to be trying to look for a couple of opportunities to sneak away some extra points. Which in finds one more. And this should be the end of Falcons, and there you go. Limit takes the final player out of the equation, and Fluxo will be very happy they took a big player off the board.
Yeah, I mean, they've taken out one of the threat in this map. Now, Fluxo right now, despite of them being open, no one's challenging them or is not successful in bringing them down. So even E1 Sport, who have a 4-man, if I'm mistaken, there's a 4-man sniper on their team, still not putting them down. Fly in coming from Corinthians as well as 6 Karma, but it will be very, very close to the bottom side of this phase of the circle.
Bigatron Delta having to face off up against the Corinthians. Koja, beautiful with the mad dash, backs away. Nando X straight down. The pickup a little bit slow, attack all around, making sure that Corinthians don't keep their heads up. Motovia takes out Nando X. They claim the point for themselves after Victron Delta did all of the initial work, but it doesn't matter who claims it. This is trouble zone for Corinthians.
Oh, indeed. Trouble zone for Corinthians. Only 2 remaining and only 1.2 that they was able to recover. Now, they need to hide out. They are in the circle, and a lot of teams might be surrounding them later on, so they have to be very, very quiet at this point.
Fluxo making their move finally up against E1 Sports. This one's a tough one. They just made their way in, but quickly under the bridge they go like little trolls. Very smart repositioning coming on through, leaving E1 Sports to deal with attack all around first. An attack all around might just be onto a back-to-back booyah here if they can get rid of E1 Sports, because that gives them a great position in the next circle.
Yeah, I mean, positioning-wise, position is what they need right now to be able to grab another booyah. WAG, though, Cyrus out in the open, beating down the WSK, Wask, and only 1 remains. 6 Karma is on the second floor of that building. On the other side, 9 elimination already being brought in by attack all around. They are aiming to grab a back-to-back at this point.
Well, Fluxo has got 1 player trying to approach WAG. E1 Sports not doing too great. Listen, lead him out.
Triple
and he will get claimed by Cougar, initially knocking him down with that grenade. And yet another player still alive on the side of E1. And now WAG in the process of attack all around. Limit, BSK, and A2B playing a little bit of MT7 tricks up on his side as well.
And Pain Gaming will be eliminated at this point. Limit X.
One more. Oh, what a exposure! And the whole squad backs away using the container for cover. Beautiful defense from WAG.
Another highlight that is coming in from a sniper, Limit X7. One of the best snipers indeed for Southeast Asia. Wask is now being stuck in a corner. Literally, Yunimo will have to eat the blue and try to recover himself, but WAG is not letting go of that side, as well as this position, as they keeps them safe without pulling out any blue wall. And Bobs spots out Pao, who has been surviving very long, and with Trogon gameplay eliminating E1 Sports.
What a beautiful Rebel rush straight to get that final elimination on the E1 player. Crazy stuff. Fluxo still got it, baby. But as I say that, I think they might just be into trouble zone here, right in front of attack all around. WAG has got clear line of sight on them as well, but the bigger danger has to be attack all around.
Yeah, attack all around is clearly in a good cover, and no one's challenging them. But Fluxo right now goes in for rush. A lot of glue walls and a lot of melters has been thrown, but hasn't melted all of those walls. And Fluxo is just waiting for them. FTL action being brought in by attack all around. That will push Fluxo out onto the other side.
Here comes the flank from the right-hand side. Attack all around, playing this so smartly, but Cougar and Limit finding the connections both at the same time. A1 to far connection as well. And MT7 back up on his feet. Very smart play coming on through, but attack all around coming here with the flush. And Bobs knocks down Jump God. MT7 finds Spoon God. The turnaround. MT7, clutch play. Can he get it? One more player. It's Limit up against MT7. The 2 snipers of the squad. Come on, show me that gameplay. And we don't get to see it.
It's just unfortunate though. I mean, we have a Trogon on the other side and only limited help for MT7. On this side this time, we have WAG and Corinthians. 3-way battle will ensue in a bit, but attack all around. I mean, a safe spot to gun down anyone fighting out in this small circle of the 5th. Now, WAG, good position on a little bit of high ground. Managed to take down Omala is Pungad, and attack all around might be looking at another booyah right now, unless WAG grab it this time.
Dude, I mean, I'm shocked because WAG on the global finals, the best team of the day, they are just one final engagement before they claim that title for themselves. Riptide Rhythm, courtesy of WAG, breaking down the defenses of attack all around. Attack all around, responding to the exact same trick here. It's Krillin as well as Alan with the Cassie. Electrotherapy, helping Cyrus go on, pushing on forward towards Cougar. Cougar still alive. Cyrus not finding the connection, and he can't get through that blue wall just yet, and will have to potentially fall up against the blue here.
Yeah, I mean, WAG, it's now 1-3, and the blue wins for this as well as a back-to-back for attack all around. One more A, and they might live up to their game, but they can only get 2 this time.
Wow, we Southeast Asia, a fantastic start from Brazil and Latin America. But SEA stood up and said, not this year, baby. This is how we dominate. Attack all around from the bottom all the way to the top with a phenomenal back-to-back booyah. Of course, blessed by the randomizer as well, leading us back into next era, a map they are very comfortable at.
And there's a move that WAG has missed out despite of the electrotherapy. The 2 remaining on the outside has been gunned down, leaving Cyrus behind onto the corner, and 3v1. Really tough to go in for the fight. So let's go back to Attack All Around and our host for the interview, and what else can they say?
Finalizando o dia com mais um buia tailandês, e a gente tem aí a AAA dando a sua dobradinha, um seguido do outro, né? E a gente não fica feliz com esses últimos resultados, mas tá tudo certo. Então vamos para as perguntinhas aqui pra gente finalizar em grande estilo e a gente saber o que eles pensam, né, sobre o dia de hoje. Please, Yusu.
Attack all around again, and the last booyah belong to them. Hello, Limits. So, today we already got 2 booyah, and it's a very great start for Attack all around. So, do you have any tactics to play, or are you just like in mind, or just playing for fun or something like that? Because I saw that you guys have an amazing performance.
เนื่องจากว่าเราได้2บูย่าแล้วเราก็จบเกมด้วยดีแล้วแบบตอนนี้ความคิดในใจเราเป็นยังไงบ้างแบบว่ามีเทคนิคอะไรที่อยากจะแชร์ไหม
ก็บรรยากาศในทีมครับแค่บรรยากาศในทีมดีทุกอย่างก็เปลี่ยนไปครับ
I think the main point is that the environment inside the team, like if they are happy, then we all play happy.
Good to know. A Yusu perguntou pra ele se, pelos 2 buias que eles tiveram hoje, se de fato existe alguma tática, né, pra eles terem ido bem agora nessas últimas partidas. E ele falou que depende do clima do time, né, se eles estão felizes, eles vão conseguir bons resultados. My question is also similar of Yusu. I would like to know if at the beginning they felt a little pressure by their debut day, and then they brought the game back to them after the first booyah. So, do they need a booyah to go so well like this?
Can you keep it again?
If they needed to get a booyah to be good in the competition, like to start, to have a fresh start.
ก็ถามว่าเหมือนกับตอนแรกเราทำผลงานได้ไม่ค่อยดีจนกระทั่งเราได้บูย่ามาเกมหนึ่งแล้วมันก็ได้มาอีกเกมนึงเลยเขาถามว่าเป็นเพราะอย่างนี้หรือเปล่าแบบทีมเราจำเป็นต้องมีบูย่าเพื่อที่จะทำให้เกมต่อไปมันเล่นดีขึ้น
น่าจะเป็นเพราะเกม4ครับพลาดให้ฟุกโซครับแล้วก็ดูเขาจนจบเกมครับก็มีไฟครับเห็นเล่นโหดดี MT7 ครับ
I think I understand a little bit.
Oh, so he said that they made a mistake on the 4th game because of Fuxo. So that's why they keep watching them until the end, especially for MT7, and that like make them like boost more power to try to
ok, that makes sense. Perguntei pra eles se eles estavam sentindo pressão no começo e eles precisavam de um booyah realmente pra conseguir aí ter melhores resultados, e ele falou que naquela partida que o MT7 fez muitas kills, eles se sentiram um pouquinho assim impressionados, e aí eles viram que eles precisavam se levantar e trazer o jogo a favor deles, então aí eles viram que eles tinham que trazer aquele estilo de jogo tailandês. First to finish, we don't have more time for questions, but I want to know if he got some moves like Cougar.
เอ้ยร้องเพลงให้หน่อยเพื่อนร้องเพลงให้หน่อย
Vamos pros melhores momentos, minha família, nesse clima aqui. Highlights.
Let's go back to your highlights, everyone. Thank you.
And there you have it, the highlights of the days, not just the gameplay, but also the dance and tackle around, going in for the back-to-back booyah at this point. The question, I mean, if you have a booyah, if you need a booyah to be good in the game, I mean, grabbing a booyah does help, but later on, I think it would prove that some teams are doing well despite of not getting any booyah, AJ.
Oh yeah, I totally agree with you, man. But of course, I'm still counting. Attack All Around has not broken the record of WAG, and WAG stands still an opportunity to be the best team of the day. We have to take a look at the overall points collected through all of these squads that have been out here in action today. But I have to say, man, phenomenal showing by WAG. I am in disbelief as to how far Vietnam has come overall. A little bit of a misplay with the positioning for WAG for sure in the final battle sequence, and Cyrus kind of got stuck outside the circle, and obviously that kind of led to his demise a little bit too early. But in the overall grand scheme of things, how well WAG did in the day, I say hats off to them. They have definitely outdone any and all expectation that anyone has ever had for Vietnam.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, especially with what you pointed out earlier. Most of the time at WAG, grab a booyah, the following would be a horrendous match, but it didn't happen. They waited for another map before it become that bad, but they managed to brought it back. But let's head over to the MVP still. It's Limit X7, this time with 5 elimination, 4,195 of damage, and 6 assists. Again, the sniper setup that he has on his loadout really gives him so much more. But looking at the rest of the teams, there's not so much of difference in terms of how their presets are, and this is what Attack All Around has to offer. If it goes to next era, they will bring it on, and they did it with back-to-back.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And of course, solid number of eliminations on their side as well. They're, like you said, back-to-back booyah. And, you know, this time though, Limit does not get the 7 eliminations. So Limit X7, you know, he's got to change to Limit X5 now. I'll say my limit is 7. I will not go past that.
Well, as you can see, it is Poongod who got the 7 elimination, but the damage is onto Limit. So it's, I guess it could have been 7, and if Poongod hadn't steal the 2 of those eliminations, the stolen 2 of the elimination. But Bob's also grabbed a few from those grenades. Now it is just looking. I'm really excited on how we are going to find out with how it ends up in the day, but it does look like WAG would still be the best team of that day. And as we look at elimination leaders, there are 3 of which coming from Attack All Around. In a bit, we're going to go in for the interview, and we're going to listen in on how it is to be the best for one day. So let's bring it over to our host, as well as who it is that would be interviewed in a bit.
Maravilha! Então vamos fazer o nosso momentozinho aqui, né, do MVP Kaspersky. Quero, produção, cadê o troféu? Ah, agora sim, bonitinho aqui comigo, lindo. E a gente tá aqui com o Limit, que é o jogador da AAA também, que garantiu esse MVP. Please, Yusu.
Congratulations! Like, it's a very good ending for AA today. Like, they got 2 booyah in a row, and then the MVPs belong to Limit as well. Please receive it first. Congratulations!
Yeah.
So Limits, please tell me, how do you feel about this special thing since we don't have this in our C region, right?
อยากรู้ว่ารู้สึกยังไงที่แบบว่าได้ถ้วยแบบนี้เพราะว่าตอนที่เราแข่งที่ C มันไม่มี
ก็รู้สึกดีใจครับเห็นเก็ตไฮได้เมื่อวานแล้วก็คิดว่าตัวเองต้องได้สักวันนะไม่คิดว่าจะเร็วขนาดนี้
I feel very happy because I saw Get High got it yesterday and I feel like, oh, I also want it, but I didn't expect that I will get it too fast like this.
Manifest.
Ok, yeah, manifest. So, a Yusu perguntou pra ele como é que ele se sente ganhando esse troféu de MVP, já que lá na região da Ásia, eles não têm essa dinâmica como a gente tem aqui no Brasil, né? Então a gente tá trazendo coisinhas novas. E ele falou que se sente super feliz, já que o Get High ontem ganhou o prêmio de MVP, ele ficou com uma certa invejinha, né? Aquela inveja branca. E aí a Yusu logo falou, né? Ele manifestou e ele conseguiu. Okay, so before this last match, he was competing against MT7 for the MVP position. And in the last interview, he talked about MT7. Right now, I want to know his opinion about that. How does it feel to get the MVP over MT7?
โอเคเมื่อกี้ตอนเราพูดถึงว่าเกมที่4เราพลาดแล้วเราก็เลยแบบว่าจับตามอง MT7 ใช่ไหมแล้วเหมือนว่าแมตช์สุดท้ายมันเหมือนเป็นจังหวะที่ต้องวัดว่าใครจะได้ MVP ระหว่างเรากับ MT7 ตอนนี้รู้สึกยังไงบ้างที่แบบว่าเอาชนะเขาได้
ก็รู้สึกดีใจครับเพราะว่าทีมผมเก่งครับผมก็ไม่ได้เก่งครับทีมแบกครับผมก็เล่นปกติของผม
I feel very happy actually it's not just me but it's my team that helped carrying me
Ok. Na última entrevista que a gente fez, no pós-buia, ele comentou sobre o MT7 ter feito, né, muitas kills, ter atrapalhado um pouco do jogo da AAA. E aí agora eu perguntei, né, que antes dessa última partida ele estava competindo de frente, né, com o MT7 pela posição do MVP do dia. Aí eu perguntei como é que ele se sente ganhando o MVP na frente do MT7. E ele falou que tá muito feliz, mas não é só sobre ele e todo o time dele ajudou ele a conseguir o troféuzinho de hoje. How can I say congratulations in his language
พูดยังไงว่าแบบพูดยินดีด้วยสอนเขาพูดคำว่ายินดีด้วยหน่อยพูดให้เขาฟัง
ยินดีด้วยค่ะ
Yeah, congratulations.
ยินดีด้วยค่ะ Limit
Vamos então de volta com você, Camila Tita, porque o MVP do dia ficou nas mãos do Limit, jogador da AAA.
But I guess it's back to us, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Attack all around with the double booyah of the day. But did they get that #1 spot on the overall leaderboard? We'll have to wait and see. 18 eliminations for Mr. Limit X7. I guess he exceeded the 7 in terms of the target. 15,707 on the damage. Holy mama, that's a lot. With the 15 assists as well. And his gun of choice, the gun that brought in a massive amount of damage, the M82B.
Yeah, M82B, this is a weapon of choice by a lot of snipers, especially in this level, this meta of the game. And especially, I did mention earlier, with our loadout or presets that they have, Skylar, we have the Moko, most of the time, that is a combination they have. The other one might be changing. Maro is a good, especially with distance that you have, you'll be able to increase your damage, but a lot has used different tactics, different characters as well, especially on this snipe. So we have Limit X7 as our MVP. We are just waiting to see how it ends for the day, as well as how it is overall, because we just won. We've seen so much of improvement, as we've seen so much of great performance as well for the other teams. But you did mention that even for those who didn't play, they still managed to keep themselves afloat. So how well did they I would say the other teams flunked out of grabbing their spot?
Oh yeah, and of course Fluxo is a little bit happy, I guess. They are on the #1 spot by the end of the day, but they are only 31 points ahead of Twisted Minds, who have got 6 games to catch up. And if our calculations are right, Twisted Minds should be able to do that in 1 game.
Yeah. It's especially as before we go there, team of day, we have WAG. This makes us happy. This makes us proud, especially for those in Southeast Asia, especially as we've seen them as a most improved team overall.
Oh yeah, most improved team ever in the world, in the history of Free Fire that I have been a part of in the past 4 going on 5 years. I cannot say how crazily impressed I am of this squad, of the whole Vietnamese region, because they did not motivate and push one team to a level like this. They motivated and pushed multiple teams to reach such a height, and it's just insane, man. 95 points, WAG, the most dominant team of the day.
I mean, such a disappointment probably coming from Attack All Around. Only 1 point between them, but at least they have the MVP, so that's that's a good balance. But it would be best if they have both the Team of the Day and the MVP. So
Yeah.
I mean, it's more for them.
But of course, my personal MVP is MT7 from Fluxo. Speaking of which, 87 points. Not good enough to win the World Championship, but good enough to be one of the threat for sure. And I'm just hoping and praying that, they're kind of keeping some super skills hidden behind their sleeves and ready to pounce when the time is right. And this is what I was talking about. Twisted Minds has only played 6 games, but they're 31 points behind Fluxo. So, Fluxo is going to say bye-bye to that #1 spot very, very quickly as soon as tomorrow starts.
One thing though, we have Bigatron Delta, who haven't gotten any booyahs, but now in number 3. This is what we was pointing out earlier. The balance of elimination as well as placement point is that, well, they grabbed the first century mark and they are on that top 3. So the rest of the teams, well, they just for BTR, they just need to grab a booyah to make that even more stronger.
Absolutely. And of course, WAG, with just 6 games played, they have already outdone 3 teams that have completed 12 games. Those 3 teams are CLG, EVOS Divine, as well as WASC. And they're not too far away from replacing teams like Corinthians as well as Bigatron Delta, because they're not too far behind in terms of points, right? 1 solid booyah. In fact, if they get to the final circle in the first game tomorrow, they're already going to do so much better than the teams from Group B, which is once again phenomenal. Once again, super impressive for a Vietnamese squad. And I keep stressing that because Vietnam really was not a big threat. But now, Vietnam could actually be the world champions. One good day, a few solid good games from them, and obviously, some things going right as well in terms of teams like Twisted Minds. In fact, I wouldn't have said Twisted Minds if it wasn't for yesterday. If some teams like Buriram United Esports have a lot of pressure by some of these other teams, and by some miracle they just stumble on the grand finals day, WAG could bring the trophy back to Vietnam. That would be. I have no words if that happens.
I'm definitely. We will be shocked at that point if that happened. We'll be happy as well. I mean, again, the motivation of one team going into EWC. Now they are having multiple teams going into the global finals, and them grabbing like the championship. That would be something else. Just from here to here, real quick.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, the growth is phenomenal. And the growth for multiple teams within a region, all at the same time, they are clearly doing something right. I just hope Malaysia can learn some stuff from, what these Vietnamese teams and players are doing, because obviously we need all of the help that we can get. And these players are clearly doing multiple things right, because the consistency is mind-blowing, and consistency is something they just never had in the past. But of course, tomorrow is also going to be a little bit of an opportunity for some of the other Brazilian and LATAM squads to, continue climbing up the leaderboard, because if not, it's going to be a little bit too late. Tomorrow is the last day of the first week, and we only have 2 weeks of group stage to play around with, Neptune.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that is how short it is for knockout stage, how small of an opportunity for the teams to grab those points and get to the top 12. But there we have it. We have entered 6 matches today. We're off to 6th match tomorrow. I'm really happy casting again with you and seeing all those engagement, all that's happening right now. And for those of you who aren't here watching, we bid you good night and thank you. We'll see you again tomorrow for another Free Fire World Series 2024 Global Finals. Goodbye.